A frenzy v frenzy battle, you normally exchange some damage.
Contact play, does Aaron even realize? Jumping up onto the box, trying to catch an unusual angle, but Multi missing a shot and a snake bite. Oh my goodness, pushes Multi away for but a moment. That's a fight want to be taken. Aaron moving forwards, making a lot of noise though. Multi very aware that he's not playing there, but the positioning is known, and now a nade pushes him forwards, running down, 65 health, but running gun is the play. And 3 kills in a round for the IGL player. Team captain for them.
What a clutch, what a great way to begin. Aaron leaning on that confidence to win a 1v3. The Red Bull clutch coming in there. But that was a tense pistol that could have gone either way for sure. And I think Split is such a great map to showcase Aaron and Bone Cold's strengths, the two IGLs of either team. Because Aaron's new to the IGL role, but he used to call the defense sides for XZ. And Split was an amazing map for XZ, an amazing map on the defense side too.
Let's go!
So this is comfort zone for Aaron. They're also even playing a comp that looks really similar.
Superb guys! Diffuse ho gaya pehla match. Second match begins.
Vitality, sure, Bone Cold isn't on the Omen.
Second round.
Same comp that Ascent used to run, and they were at the top of the world, the best team in the world on Split. Times have changed, metas have changed. And we get to see which team and which player, which IGL's idea comes out today.
The bold beginning for Texture. Maybe expecting that he could have gained some control of it, but pays for that with his life. Does hand over that Spectre as well to Twisted now, so Vitality didn't invest too much.
Guys, सब कुछ सही है ना? मैं आज के लिए live chat अपने इसमें से देख रहा हूँ phone से.
Exchange of weapons as well onto players that might be a little bit healthier. And okay, taking Bone Cold, he's beam down there with a wall play. Global Esports are going to be aware that this is a fake play into B. Obviously, the side already being taken. SK Rossi going to be hearing all of this, including this plan going down. So Global Esports to react in kind.
It's a very open plant. And also, look at the deliberate cage that Sender put in the middle of the site. I assume this is for Twiston to play around later on.
Play by Sender, what a shot! You've got to be joking.
Off it?
Just absolutely rattling them off, one after the other. There's no trade in sight, yet still dangerous task ahead. What can it do with the weaponry?
हम लोग वापस आ चुके हैं.
Theft already revealing the positioning. SK Rossi moving across onto the side, but he has fallen. All down to Aaron once more. One player isolated, but time is running low. And at the back of the site, the crossfire was there.
1-1.
Honestly, just sheer heroics coming out of these Vitality players to just manage to turn that round into their favor.
Oh, it's all Sender, isn't it? He's 6-1 right now. And the double kill on the players trying to retake is everything there. Absolutely everything. Sender is incredibly talented. I was watching his games, been watching him for a while. Used to play Breach on a full Lithuanian team, and then he's gone over to play Chamber very recently, and now on the Cypher. He's played a lot. He's mega talented. For my money, he might be the most talented player in the server right now, but people like Texture and people like Twiston or Morsi will certainly give him a run for his money.
Just containment here for Vitality, looking to see if they can punish this play on the Eco. Esports, look at that, just trying to see if they can collect any more kills, and they're making it incredibly aware. Vitality able to just hold these off angles, weakened as well on the players.
And that's rough. Mulsi is one away from an ultimate now. And considering that this has been, a weird situation where Vitality win the second round, it actually delays the rifle round by at least one. Right? Because Vitality are now going to, it's going to be round 4 by the time we get a proper clash. And that means that Mulsi has an extra round to get a big ultimate online that he can use to turn the tide of that fight. So I think things are starting to look a little worrying here for global esports. If Mulsi can get in a good position, considering that they've got, 2 Phantoms, a Vandal, this next round, Global need to win it.
Is looking quite good.
नहीं होंगे fit. मुश्किल है. Viper साथ भेजो. Viper के साथ भेज दो.
Particular round as well. Sender as a player.
There,
but no, eventually containing. But
all right, guys, अब मजा आने वाला है. क्या मुंह ऊपर कर ले? Wait, let me check.
In breakfast in the elevators, I'm
सही तो है?
always just meeting up with Vitality players and the coach as well. But he was saying to me, listen, if you want to sound like a god on the desk, hype up Sender, because according to their coach, listen, of course he's going to say this, but he said that he's currently playing like the best player in Europe.
Yeah.
his own words. Obviously quite biased.
Sounds like he's gassing his own player up, but I also think that there's probably a shred of truth to that, because Sender does look fantastic in the run-up in the off-season prior to being picked up. This is a massive round, though.
Yep. Dash across. SK Rossi just hoping to try and take that angle. Oh, look at this.
Okay, so this is
much pace.
This is going to be a pinch. I'm sure they were aware that Aaron was going to use his ult in mid. Obviously now, Aaron and Monya are not in a great spot, but there's no boomboard or really informational tools they can use to help them get inside the pit.
Maybe
so
the plan was for Twiston to try and backstab here, because the rest of Vitality
उनको बोल दो ना ये थोड़ा पीछे करने.
B main, and that's going to be Q for the ultimate here. Slow wall but defeat of Mulsi, and no one is going to be on this site, so
retake.
Taking a couple of layers ahead here, but despite in mid, that is important. Twiston, he wins it versus Munya, and he's going to be backing away with his life. Plan starting to go down now.
That's the second time that Munya's pushed through a smoke and taken an unfavorable fight.
Good one.
Bazzi, though, responding, takes down Sender, who's been a menace in some of these rounds. Twiston is miles away from the action if Global Esports can hurry this one up, but the Sage Walls are just delaying everything.
Yeah, just a cross-section for it, and no one really aware of it. Destrian does move over to the other side of the wall, but a double face there. Drop down onto a high-low setup. Destrian had to TP back onto to try and help him out, and Mulsi will be falling, but time running low now, and he did not know where Twiston is. Dash enabled, moves forwards. Trying to contest this one in a 1v1, but Aaron, he has to stick it. The percentage play, he needs to try and get half, and it sets up Twiston for the easy slam dunk win.
And just think about how different the round could have been if Twiston had been dealt with and cleared out of ropes when they knew he'd gone into there. They were aware that Twiston was somewhere around. Possibly they thought he escaped after he got up to heaven, but I would have thought that Global Esports could keep a better track of the Jet player there. Interesting pathing from Vitality early on, and it pays dividends for them in the post plan. Now Global Esports are in a pretty horrible position here. Their comp should be great on the defense side, and they're going to be looking at the wrong end of a 1-4 beginning. Despite the heroics coming out from their IGL Aaron.
We'll see a timeout being taken now for Global Esports. Biding their time, seeing if they can cook up anything in particular. Texture is one away from the ultimate, so he's going to be able to get that showstopper, assuming on the other end of this round. Playing for an orb, a kill, or even just dying to one of them.
Hi, JD bhai.
And the players with the least experience here on Global are SK Rossi and Monya. Right?
Check over 100%.
SK Rossi has been playing a lot domestically, but he hasn't had an opportunity like this on the big stage just yet. And those two players have yet to really get going in this match so far. Sure, there's only been 4 rounds, but both sat at the bottom of the leaderboard, 0-4, and Monya's had a couple of weird pushes through a smoke. SK Rossi got caught out while he was just knifing the wall, a little bit unaware. So maybe these players need to settle into the groove a little before you see the talent being demonstrated. For Vitality, I mean, if you smell blood in the water and you realize that Global are
my book mein banda likh ke aaya apna strats,
you got to hammer that home.
Yeah. We'll see if they're going to be pouncing on that opportunity, but so far in this match, what I have been noticing is there's a lot of pressure towards A main from Vitality. Yeah. Heavy emphasis being played from them, where they're just trying to take that A.
But वो लोग push करेगा सीधा अंदर देखना अभी एक cypher वो डालेगा
too much in this round, keeping it simple for them. Paranoia, Twiston moves forwards, and the one and done position is checked.
वो भी 1 HP हो गया.
Weaker guns obviously from them. Bazzi just trying to play up behind the wall, seeing if he can get anything done, but very well executed so far.
And the defensive Viper wall actually allows Vitality to come in without having to worry about a lot of angles on A. So Global need to be aware of how best to play these positions.
Punish there, as you're trying to take the play. Texture tries to make the most of this one, but again, just can't withstand that kind of pressure.
Kya baat hai? Bahut badhiya. Everyone is visible now.
Global Esports again. They have massive ultimates to work with, especially Textures. And I think setting Texture up in
Mortal का chat खुला है
almost
साची खुला है
guarantees
मेरा chat.
value out of his ultimate. Vitality have not been going for big.
Guys किसी का आवाज नहीं आएगा, possible नहीं है.
One of the big reasons why this used to be
एक तो ये वो वाला headphone है पता है?
is that it has a lot of variety where you can play around
suppress करता है जो Logitech वाला है ना? G20 क्या G something Pro कर दिया 2x है वो थोड़ा हाँ 2x पे लग गया.
And it looks like Vitality this time are making a play towards mid. They'll just use send cages to apply some
अच्छा उन लोग की तरफ से हाँ उन लोग का साइन तो आ रहा था. Nice one.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Just a bit of raw spam, yeah, straight through the smokes. Also just trying to lurk up behind it. Rossi! Good information, and there's SK Rossi, head taken clean off from Sender. Trying to catch that lurk, but obviously his positioning was known prior, and speaking of heads being taken off, Munyet needs to play a bit more carefully there. Paranoia, dash forwards from Twiston, a play to be made from him perhaps, but he's now stuck in this position, and there's going to be that showstopper. That was a direct hit. What in the Lord's name am I watching?
Boncold's attempting to create some pressure in B with this Sage Wall, hoping that it opens up the middle of the map, but it hasn't at all. With Sender dying and with the Sage Wall being placed from Rossi, the rest of Global Esports can completely flush out this hit in mid.
Yeah, man, they know pure confidence on the side of Global Esports. No wasted moments from them. Smoke across the cut, forwards. Destrino up close and personal. And there's another punish.
And what a big round from players that we were waiting to see anything from. 0-4 coming into this round, and they get 3. Yeah, SK Rossi using the utility from Bazzi to flush out Sender early, and then Monye just spamming through the smoke, gets his first kills, and they're playing around the smokes quite nicely, but really like the way that Rossi has picked up the Sender and used the Sage Wall. Good utility usage and good punish. Otherwise, Sender's going to be a menace over there on A.
Absolutely. A good adaptation. Getting the operator in his hands. In fact,
good
up the positioning as well, because SK Rossi now not playing towards the A ramp area, but that is where the majority of Vitality are. So what is the answer here? Random spam coming through, slow orbs, multi-side, he satchels up on top of the box actually. Holding this angle, yet still Aaron anchoring into the back of the site. Flash push back. Grenade did push Aaron out wide. It was capitalized on by the Vitality players. You can see that Sender have managed to get themselves in, and that plant will go down.
That's unfortunate because the Viper retake wall is now not going to be active. Big clash in ropes.
Yep, Destrian trying to find mid is going to be so important right now, and he does win it out. If he stays alive, he's going to be causing issues for them, and still holding that close angle. Re-peek just a little bit too late, and still it has crumbled before their eyes. Operator in the hands of Twist, and he makes the most of that one.
Yeah, even with Destrian finding success, the biggest problem for Global is the trading there through screens.
A little bit delayed.
Very delayed. And I think that that speaks to how new of a team Global are, and maybe the comms getting flustered in these moments. Because look, there is just nobody behind Texture. Yeah. The next player is almost 2 seconds later, and it's Rossi swinging with an op. So one of their rifle players needs to get on a line there. Okay, operator battle though as we get back into this round happening in B.
Debate.
That's nice.
Yeah, that is quite nice. Just to set up SK Rossi onto that angle.
But SK Rossi is in. I mean, he's on such a deep line and he can't escape. Oh, he's actually using the wall. Yeah. That's a little weird because now he needs to reposition and get value out of the operator. Vitality are going to be playing quite quickly, so he relies on the rest of his team here to slow Vitality down.
So far, it seems like the early game plan of Global Esports was to play heavy for that extremity control. And it's created this opening in mid. You can see Vitality have already taken up that space. Just exploring. Spike in the hands of Multi. Waiting around, seeing if they can force a fight, a play to be made. They're going to be looking to regroup with the rest of their team now.
Wait a second. Did Rossi put a terrible Sage Wall in B main that Boncold can just jump over?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there's a box behind that you can just jump over that.
I didn't realize that he connected it to the box so that you could just jump up. That's inexperience on the agent showing there. Obviously, Rossi playing a new role. Oh, and that's where you don't expect him to miss. Normally so talented.
And look at this, pressure being applied to just every single direction on the map. Oh my word! Straight shot, Bazzi dropped down to 110, spray down, he is low, but yeah, no way! From that kind of range, but Bazzi was weakened. And Aaron seems to be aware of this play that was occurring. There you go, click on the head, and there we go, find the kill. But it is just left up to Aaron, and might be getting a bit flustered now into this 1v2. Destrian backs away again, that kind of patience and discipline. Doesn't want to take the fight, just makes it nice and awkward. Not giving any easy 1v1s for Aaron to be able to take to try and win this one.
And now Destrian gets a sound cue as well as Aaron goes up the rope. This is an almost unwinnable situation because Vitality just haven't given Aaron anything to work with.
Quite aware of where the positioning could be. A bit of spam. Isolate the fight. Yeah, just not quite enough. And well, the Shorty up close once more. I mean, Twiston was saying, listen, if you think we've been seeing Shorty kills up until now, wait till you see their game because this guy, he makes full usage of that weapon.
He definitely does. The Shorty in Twiston's hands is a different weapon. His movement is fantastic too, though. I think that's part of what sets all of this up.
अरे उसके हाथ में गन नहीं थी, अरे वो सैचल करने के चक्कर में हुआ.
Coming from Aaron about how Global should play their defensive side, but it's the small mistakes that are really slipping them up.
Long range shot ही लग गया बे. हाँ वही बहुत कम HP था बे.
The way that Rossi plays the B main situation just scrambled them a little. If he puts down a better Sage wall and is then able to op in mid on a more aggressive angle, maybe that round goes differently.
It's just been that consistent uphill battle for Global Esports so far in this half.
Global are going for a
ये लोग देख, फिर bro वो लोग B छोड़ दिए इस बार, वो लोग B आ रहे पूरा. ये लोग full A hold किए हैं.
When they have been ending A, have been at least taking space A ramp fairly consistently. Sender's presumably faked it with the cages, but apart from that, there is nobody home on the B side.
Yeah, so the gamble not paying off here. It's going to be that easy plan once more for Vitality.
सुनो मुझे प्लाट पे भी नहीं मिलता है ऐसा प्लांट.
Right now, Global Esports just thinking about not giving away too much.
अबे भाई वो बैठा है अब. अरे इको भी है ना ऊपर से, बराबर है इको था ना.
Go down to the spike so they don't give away any more ultimates as well would be quite.
Sorry guys.
Sender with his late lurk position, shutting them all down in mid, and there's a re-swing attempt. It looks like Global Esports want to try and fight this into Sender.
The Cypher ult isn't the best one in the world if you have to feed yourself into somebody. This is going to be a very easy round for Vitality to clean up. I think you can just see the way that Vitality has been built, it relies on pre-existing synergies between the players. So they have a bit of a core from Oglu, you know, and then some from Vitality, and a little sprinkling of Big on the top as well.
Yeah.
But they have some players that are familiar with each other enough to have
a
bit of synergy, a bit of chemistry there. And with Global, they are genuinely starting from square one.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be a much more difficult project to get off the floor, and I think that was the concern that everybody had with this team. How much time do they require? When you listen to the players and the staff, they're thinking about multiple seasons, but still wanting to get wins early on.
Yeah, very long-term focus with this Global Esports.
Much better Sage wall in B main from Rossi.
Allowing anybody to hop up on top of it. Looks like a fight might be trying to be taken. Again, that spam and just holding for now. Moving forwards inside this Viper's pit. There's a timing taken.
Does he
know that they crossed? Okay. Bit of whiffage there from Sender, but did he know that they've been compromised right now towards a ramp? That space was gained. It's a pop flash play.
Yeah! Oh, shit.
Nails the target, but Bone Cold was not playing in position for that one, so he does trade it out relatively effectively. And now the resurrected play. Aaron is being squeezed. Convergence on either side. Bit of spam there around the corner, and Aaron's been caught.
Awesome distraction from Twiston when Destrian got inside the ult. Can Texture be a playmaker here on the flank?
Yeah, these positions are flipped all the way around. Just as Aaron was being squeezed this time, it is Texture coming for that late flank. Players in heaven though, is anybody going to be watching for this one? You've got to be aware of it surely that a ramp they could have been playing and no, Twiston gets away with it for free. The shots just going one after the other. Texture does eventually claim that kill, but so much to deal with right now, and the retake made that much harder by the fact that Rossi is using this operator and just unfortunate timing once more.
Yeah, Global Esports getting outplayed. Vitality with nice protocols to clear out the Viper's pit. To Aaron's credit, he's been getting them into good positions. But Vitality are always able to sneak past them or blast their way through them and then surround them on all sides. The raw talent as well is showcased here from Vitality. Yeah. Twiston 16-4, Sender and Malsey also having a great game individually, just able to farm these Global Esports players currently. We need to see a bit more resistance.
Oh, okay. What is this? Double updraft play from Twiston?
Yeah,
yeah, with the knives as well.
Okay.
Sage wall updraft.
तुझे गलत लग रहा है वो नहीं है.
He was nearly there.
वही तो कह रहा हूँ.
Yeah, could have got his head taken off, but no.
That's actually another Ascend classic being called from Bone Cold.
All the way back in the day.
I've seen CNED do that.
Yeah. So desperate times here for Global Esports. Got to get something else on the board. It's like half by round from them, so the weaponry is that much weaker, but so far on their defense side of Split, it's not looking too good.
They need a miracle here, really, don't they?
Yeah.
The poor weaponry, even a 4-8 half. with the pistol. Maybe you start to have some belief. Oh, the timing there. Brutal for Monye. Is he even going to think about re-clearing mid?
Bro, इधर कोई है ही नहीं. वो लोग क्या बेट कर रहा है पता नहीं. वो तो ये चले गए. सब लोग ये चले गए.
All the way up behind.
वो B पे ही है.
Just heard Monye drop or what, but yeah, as he goes to re-clear it, was just so unaware. Just left out of SK Rossi. He's only got the Bucky, and it's, I mean, just full patience. Really, really well played by Vitality. How slowly they were playing that one. Not willing to give anything away.
And that is a prime game in Flawless.
Vitality
currently so in control of this game. And we've actually seen Split be somewhat attacker-sided when people have been running these double duelist compositions. But then the other problem with that is too, that when people run the heavy defensive comps, they're not racking up enough rounds on the attack side themselves to equalize it. So people are seeing the double duelist meta come back. People like Loud also playing it on this map. Twisted and Mossy have put on a masterclass, and I think Bone Cold's calling in general.
I am a YouTube exclusive.
So well.
Don't poach me.
Early fight for control here. Yeah, it is that final chance, Josh, the Cosmic Divide going to be used very early on here by Global Esports just to try and deny control of
bizarre
a lot of areas of the map at once. But, I mean, Vitality, they just contact them through this, and there's going to be that paranoia. Lovely play to deny that one. Multi, the satchels were clean, the movement was nice, but he does get taken down on the high ground, and despite the fact that Bone Cold was vulnerable, he wins out that engagement. Seeker's going to be giving him a lot of information that the players found their way on to the site now. We're just containing. Twisted holding close now below into Hell. He's going to be taking first contact for them. Varying up his angles. Is it going to be cleared? Not quite well enough.
Where's the second player there where Bazzi peeks? Oh, perfect timing though from Texture. Picks up Sender in mid.
A very nice final round now. Texture does have the but he rips it out at just the wrong time. Destrin finding that one, still one player left alive. Destrin, you cannot give him this one, but the swing is just perfection.
Let's go,
Monye will claim the round for his team and get at least 3 on the board for this first half.
A lifeline, one last desperate lifeline. But unless you're on the 9-3 curse hype train, this is looking like a brutal beginning.
Abey VLT nahi hai, wo VIT hai, Vitality.
And something makes me think he's not going to slow down in the next half.
Yeah, this is a hell of an opening for Vitality, honestly, on the global stage like this, and for Global Esports.
Guys, हम लोग यही जगह पे हैं जो आपके सामने आया अब अभी आया आपके सामने वॉच पार्टी में, but हम लोग ऊपर वाले सेक्शन में हैं.
This map, let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And there you see Twistin. What a showing from him in the first half. They're dropping 20, but I think it's safe to say here, Mimi, like Vitality, the fundamentals, everything that you can want to have in this squad, it's working.
Yeah, it really is working fantastically for this team. That first half, to me, felt like kind of a gap between coordination for these two squads. And as we look back on one of those rounds, what I was especially impressed with was some of the game plans they built around this double duelist comp. They start this one off with Twistin diving into heaven and finding this weird timing to get into vents. His team then goes back and executes B, and a bit of a blunder from Monye. He actually falls to Twistin there, pushing back through his own pit. Twistin then reactivates on this lurk and is ready to push back around again as his team is holding on this post. GE push it a little bit close on this one. Some of these players find some big kills, but Twistin again, very late into this round, comes back in and managed to win that one out for them. Vitality, I liked a lot of the ideas we were seeing with this.
Cute नहीं बोला, chat में किसी ने बोला था तो मैं पायल को बता रहा था.
They completely lost track. It was really brutal for them. They need to step up the pace in the next half.
Yeah, but then also
VIT,
on the GE side,
correct,
though, I mean,
you
got to give the moment to Aaron here. The guy continues to just show up and clutch in those real pivotal moments. Seth.
Sure, he has, and he has been the kind of the pillar for this team. We're talking about him. He is the veteran. He's the one that has that international experience. But it needs to be more spread out amongst the rest of the roster here, because right now he's the only one in the spotlight. Everybody else left out in the shadows. He needs to be able to guide them to a strong attacking half. It's 9-3. It's definitely recoverable, but it definitely feels bad going into that scoreline after starting on the defending side.
Yeah, on split, that is a difficult scoreline to come back from. We need a better pistol round from them. We need them to not rely on Aaron's clutches. GE, this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, it is going to be quite challenging for GE to climb their way back into this game. But with Aaron on the calls, hey, anything is possible. Let's see what happens. Send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Anything could be possible.
गाइस आपको हम लोग ऐसा खाने को दिखा सकते हैं ना खाना
can mount that comeback, but so far one major
खाना मंगाएंगे थोड़ा
standing in their way, and that is the duelist players of Vitality. Twiston and Molson just putting up an amazing performance, and it was Twiston who said in the interview series we did, that little pre-tape, that their team doesn't have any star players, but might be weaving a different tale.
इनको बोल रहा हूँ घुसो आप पेलो
definitely a dark horse team, but they may become some star players later on down the road. All right, Global Esports with a big engagement. They've got past Destrian.
Still, they need to deal with the heaven position, and they do take the fight with the players and making sure that the spacing is good. Getting this one out. Still, Morsi tries to make the play there. Every single bullet in the clip being used as he rattles off the shots from the Sheriff. Let's get that one. Still texture. It's a quirky position. The double faces, they all drop down. A classic right clicks. Definitely working out for them, and they know where the final player is. Twisted. He's got the most to do. Now just waiting. If Esports will give him an easy kill. First the stun, and that swing is just ever so slightly delayed, but luckily he's found regardless.
And actually really good trading. I think the swing from Bazzi, or swinging off other players' contact in general, there was a trade from Monye that came through that looked really good. And then also Bazzi swinging at the end to shut down Twiston looked nice. So, a pretty drilled pistol round actually coming out from Global Esports. Gives me a little more confidence that they could mount something. But they have to make sure that after winning the pistol, they don't immediately fall to the Sheriffs, because that was the story of the first half. Both pistols going the way of Global, but it didn't net them any momentum in the first.
See now just how they want to play this one, because Vitality, there's that double face. You can see Sender just holding from Mayo as well while this is going on. Just exploded out into mid. A lot of space being gained. Now you see that satchel play. Boombot clears a lot of these angles, and it's up to Aaron to see if he can hold down this one angle, and he does indeed. There's no one going to be taking him out with any stray plays there. Classic right clicks in order, but Twiston did get a bit of an upgrade in the form of that Sheriff, so that's been dealt with, but the site should be relatively free now for Global Esports to get this plant down. Need to deny, actually. That's going to be perfectly rebounded, and you've got to be joking.
Safe hands from Rossi.
Sender heard him. Oh my word, you got to be kidding me.
This Vitality team is so cracked with the Sheriffs.
Yep, just finding so many opportunities, and they are just making the most of it. One after the other, isolated down to that 1v1. Sender, he's Lodo, has to nail the shot, and to nail it, he does. All the players weakened, and it is just a repeat of that first half. Global Esports, they win the pistol round and immediately lose it to the Sheriff purchase.
It's tragic, an absolute tragedy for Global Esports. They set themselves up for success with a great pistol round. On both halves. But they just can't compete with this level of talent. I mean, shots are absurd.
Yeah, they are crazy.
And the final one from Sender is just good communication that the player is weak enough. But Global Esports offering so many 1v1s, and Vitality are super happy to take them.
Something to be said as well about Vitality's composition being that much more simpler as well. They can obviously focus much more on the trading the team plays, individual moments.
Bone Cold's wall here is so annoying to deal with on an eco round for Global. It takes every bullet in the pistol just to get rid of it and have any semblance of mid control. And you've got a nice cam setup there that helps them control A-ramp, get a bit of information, or even set up trap plays.
The double face just missing Destrian as he was peeking for that information. Sends out that paranoia as well. Slows down a faster play. And Vitality are swarming it now with the rest of their players, making sure that they contain that choke point that was being watched for.
But there's less than a minute on the clock. They don't control any area of the map, and Global Esports are 4-10 down. They need a Sheriff pick.
And there you go. Once more, kill going to be found there just from a stray peek. Backing away. I believe the spike was dropped down to the floor as well off of that, so they know that they're at least attempting to rotate, and Twiston can hear it all. Right through sewers, making all the noise in the world. Flash play around the corner. Nobody hard clearing this. That is a whiff though, and the players do clean up, and there is the capitalization. Dropping down. A little bit inaccurate with the aim, yet still Mulsi will nail the shots and clean up the remaining players.
Yeah, Global found themselves an opportunity, but again, just no coordination on how they're getting in through a choke point. It's stuff that needs to be drilled, and they'll get there over time. But for now, Global are really struggling to get that second player in behind Texture, or even offer any utility for Texture to be favored. I mean, look, there's 3-4 seconds before the next player swings there, and no utility to help Texture get into the site. And I feel like that's just been a repetition. Every retake, every attempt to attack.
Steadily, the wiggle room afforded to Global Esports to stay in this map is just getting shortened.
Sorry, I'm just watching the exact same kind of setups that I've seen before on Split from teams like Ascend, teams like 100 Thieves.
Oh, bhai.
I mean, this Vitality team has got great protocols on Split.
To be taken, dropping down into ropes. Twiston holding this one with the operator, but not going to be given any easy opportunities to take a stray shot.
This might be over-peaking from Destry.
Yeah, just trying to take this fight, but wow, okay.
They're so clean.
Yeah. And he just backs away on top of it. Multi, looks like they're trying to get a read that this could have been the B split. Showstopper, I mean, he's literally just contact playing at the very final moment. Fires it off into the corner. Gap at the wall means that he'll be able to get back to safety. And damage was done, but no kill claimed onto Bazzi. Could be quite critical. He still has his ult in his hands. Holding on top of the rope, though. Dodge to the side. Good info gained. Now there's 40 seconds left in this round, and then he needs to be just a bit more put behind into this round. They do get these kills traded out, but a Paranoia is going to be, again, putting a stop to this. There's no fast play behind it.
30 seconds left.
Even that smoke, I think, eating up the flash. Now they're going to be clearing this corner out effectively, dropping down to the floor. The aim not reset enough to take that fight, so Vitality, they earn their way to that 12th round, and now one more round. So it stands between them and winning this map.
So far in the tournament, EMEA as a region has been in shambles other than Na'Vi. But this Vitality team, definitely a dark horse. Looking pretty excellent here, though, in terms of the raw talent and the way they understand the map. So far, it's been APAC taking names, but this one is definitely going the opposite way. Vitality is so in control, and the weaponry is brutal here for Global Esports.
Yeah, you have to force up into this, obviously. No more opportunities. Looks like they're just going to be opting into that B split. A heavy take into B heaven. Sender, the rifle spray down, just about gets the aim online. Now you're going to see that Viper's Pit scattered out across through the choke point, but no one is dealing with this guy. Just perched up in that heaven position, and Aaron, desperation pushing through, but Vitality, they clean it up. And it just looks like another day in the office for this team. We had questions coming into this series, but so far Vitality, that dark horse aura that's just been surrounding them, looks like people weren't joking.
Not at all.
Wow.
Spoon-feeding Twiston the kills, is that the metaphor there? But that was also Global Esports' pick. Yeah. That was their map. That's where Aaron feels comfortable. And I don't think the macro game plans were honestly that bad, but it all came down to the details. The devil is in the details. And Global have not found the answers here.
Yeah, just minor moments there, but that's going to do it for map number 1. A short break, and on the other side of things, map number 2 will be coming up after this.
अबे सेंटिनल लेना चाहिए था ना ये थ्रो वाला राउंड था गाइस हम लोग आते हैं ठीक है आप लोग कैरी ऑन वॉचिंग I'll be back.
gives you wings. Red Bull gives you wings.
Well, I guess the Sheriff came to town for Vitality because they managed to pick up a 1-0 win in dominating fashion on Split. Too soon? Too soon? Let's go ahead and jump into the breakdowns, though. Mimi, I think we all were coming into this high hopes for GE. We were interested to see how the experiment was going to work, but I think Sideshow said it best in the cast, right? It is an experiment. This is something that's going to take time, but that does not take away from Vitality, who just look incredible.
Yeah, GE struggled in this map, but Vitality impressed me a lot. I felt like the coordination between these players was on point. Bone Cold had some great ideas as the IGL, and I felt that their implementation of this double duelist comp was quite strong.
Yeah, it really was. And Sideshow also mentioned it to just go ahead and give him some more props. The overall macro strategy, not too bad from the side of GE, but the details are where everything fell apart. You see these Sheriffs coming through. Sheriff Savants, as we've gone ahead and given the moniker. Yeah. They really just are incredible performance when they have those guns in their hands, when they have any guns in their hands, really. Great consistency from GE to be able to get the pistol round, but it's just tragic that they can't get the follow-up. They can't win the anti-eco, and they just cannot build any momentum off of that. And you have to expect that, especially losing that second anti-eco round, that's just when all the gas just spilled out of the tank.
Yeah, and part of that, I think, is the unforced error of this team is just really, really good with the Sheriff. And part of it is, that's a forced error. And part of it is the unforced error of just GE's coordination was off. And they were giving a lot of these 1-versus-1 duels in positions where they had no business doing so.
Yeah, well, let's actually, go into our Verizon high-speed moment of the match here because, of course, all eyes are on Multi and Twistin in this one. And I think that part of the reason why you have to highlight these two players here, they're coming in hot, they're showing what they're capable of doing, they're shutting down any ideas that, that GE might try to conjure up here in these situations, and this is one of those reasons.
Yeah, I mean, just monstrous performances. They're coming out from these double duelists, as Mimi was just pointing out. They've just been able to perform so well. That reaction time to just get that right click across, instantly scopes in on the screen to just take down Aaron, who was very consistently finding himself as the last man standing. He had that one clutch in the pistol. Unfortunately, we didn't see too many other ones. They just couldn't quite find their shots. They couldn't get those bullets to connect.
Yeah, this is a continuation of the story that we've seen all tournament long, where there's these debutants, the new players to the international events, come out and perform absolutely excellently.
Yeah, well then, what we want to see is players like SK Rossi really begin to show that God aim that we've come to know and love from him. That's actually going to lead us to our pre-map warm-up in the Aim Lab shoot-around here and gives us an opportunity. Words are hard today for me,
French
everyone.
Mode now.
You would think
you've been talking to Carmen Corp?
Here's SK Rossi. No. You can go ahead and get that QR code. We're really looking, Seth, for just some more output from him.
सब लोग इधर-उधर बातें कर रहे हैं तो मैं ही आ जाऊं.
I mean, unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much. We saw him trying to push the operator into his hands, which is normally a very faithful pair of hands to put the operator into. But unfortunately, he was just not quite hitting some of his shots. And I wonder how much of that is going to be nerves. We've heard from other players.
Next match timing अभी कुछ देर में चालू होगा. कौन बताओ chat? Chat जोश दिखाओ chat में.
It is really terrifying.
Chat जोश नहीं दिख रहा chat में.
I wonder if that's the case
चल रही है Rossi की. ओ भाई क्या मार रहा है भाई ये.
Start fighting his groove a little bit more.
He's going to need that he was not finding value. They invested in it multiple times on that stage, and I don't think he was ever really able to shut down those early gambits that the double duelist comp was sending out.
Accuracy 85%.
Very, very
कैसे मामा भाई सब बढ़िया यार. Chat जान दिखाओ chat में.
SK Rossi.
मर दो इंडिया मर दो.
See more out of him in this map, and I think there's a good chance we will.
Yeah, well, hoping so. We're going to be going over to
face cam on कर दो. लो face cam on कर देता हूँ.
Vitality's pick here. We have seen Vitality's favor this map.
Face cam कैसे on करते हैं यार?
Chamber was prime and was in play.
G fighting. आया.
Hey, we saw Chamber once in this tournament. Maybe we see Chamber again over here. Why not?
He's cropped up every now and then, but wasn't a very good.
हमने take over कर लिया है. I am the. अभी कुछ देर के लिए मैं मॉडल तो नहीं हूँ मैं मामा का cosplay कर रहा हूँ.
I think it's just going to be a bit more of what we have seen. Maybe some more standardized compositions here, not necessarily.
मॉडल कर रहा है. मैं तो मॉडल हूँ.
All right, Prime Gaming Agent select here for Pearl.
मामा का cosplay कर रहा हूँ.
It is going to be interesting to see. We've seen again a couple different approaches to this map thus far at Lock-In, but it's been very much fixated on these B-long fights, these well-set.
Just सही मॉडल को ऐसा नहीं किया जाता guys.
Which I think should be a stronger side for them, and they do go for a jet. This is similar to what DRX was running, but they run
इसको देखा कैसे बैठा है?
which I
देखा नहीं तुम लोगों ने? ये देखो दोनों टांगे ऊपर करके पूरा मैच ऐसे खेला है इसने.
Out of the Sova when you run it alongside this jet, but you're right. Yeah, both teams have made that decision.
Yeah, neither going for it, so be really
ऐसे बैठने में.
Who can pilot these?
मैं तो दोनों पैर पलटी मार के बैठता हूँ.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump into map 2, of course. Can we get a map 3? Let's go ahead and find out. Send it over to Brandon Sideshow for the call.
Voice is not so good.
Thank you very much, Golden Boy. Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? Can we get to that map 3? But it all starts here on Pearl as our map number 2, and Vitality already leading the series 1-0 off the back of some, solid calling from Volko.
Mamba crew के हो क्या?
But
crew
the calls that really sailed them away to a really dominant.
Crew? मैं क्यों crew
कर रहा हूँ? Volko's got a crazy journey as well. He made it to the top of the mountain, was all the way up at the peak.
माइक ठीक करो, माइक ठीक करो. अब जो दिया है उन लोगों ने सेटअप वही करेंगे.
Dropped all the way down to play in the French leagues and
आपको तो बहुत लंबा जाना होगा. Producer on this channel.
He just pushed that rock all the way up the hill, and now he's back down at the bottom, pushing it back up again. But the struggle itself is enough to fill Bongo. He's just happy with the journey and the grind.
Start हो गया.
Content there.
Oh, अगला फ्रैक्च ये है क्या? Pearl.
Bonkold's there.
Let's go guys. क्या पिक है?
He's back.
See a lot of utility this opening pistol round, and it is so important that Global Esports get off to a good start, and it's exactly what they're going to do. Fights are being taken this time. A lot of players to back them up. Bit of spam there from Texture. Got to be wary because he knows the sender's just lurking his way through, but finally back arrives now. Down to Twist and players.
It's round
in fact, Aaron and Munyet would die to just one shot to the body with the Sheriff in his hands right now. So you need to be relatively careful here. They do have a crossfire set up just on the back of Halls. Util's going to be bleeding away that time. The Horn just to the corner. Got to find the angle that won't be available to him. So Global Esports once again, similar tale to what we saw from the previous.
Camera नीचे करो, kill feed नहीं दिख रहा.
These pistol rounds of great consistency.
Camera कह रहा नीचे करो, kill feed नहीं दिख रहा.
Continue that. Can they actually convert it into another round on the back of it?
Global might be the team with the highest pistol round to go home in the first round.
Yeah.
I mean, they need to be able to convert off the back of this. They've won 3 out of 3 of the pistols. Surely, this is not going to be heartbreak again. If you look just at the mini-map here, I think the danger could be averted instantly. A Vitality have gone for a gamble stack, and the Sheriffs are on the opposite side of the map completely. Oh no. Oh no.
Don't overthink
Surely Global Esports are not overthinking it. I think this is just going to be an A split. They're taking their time early on to set up Aaron in A main.
Yeah. The knife from Mulsi did make them second guess things because that landed very late over towards A main. Faked a bit of that presence, but no, this time the Global Esports players will be just
let's go, bro.
That A site. It's going to be afforded to them.
Post land.
But also in one of the pistol rounds, or rather one of the follow-ups, we saw the retake just so many opportunities where Global gave them one.
रुको एक सेकंड मैं अभी इसको सॉर्ट करता हूँ इसको forever सॉर्ट कर दूंगा मैं.
But I think this does favor the Spectre system, and the Global Esports players are so clumped up they can't help but trade. Surely.
Yeah. So the knife there not going to be tagging onto the Asher player.
नहीं आगे क्यों जाना है?
Escarossi just
जिंदगी
moves forward.
भर के लिए थोड़ी स्लोप करेंगे.
He's also claiming one of the targets there, sticking onto the fuse. Destrian, does he get half? Not sure, no he doesn't. Denied that at least, and the spam through. This game plan, a little bit all over the place, sticking to half, no way, not a shot in hell, but time running too low for him to make the most of that one again, so my word, they do just about straight through and claim that round, but Global Esports, it's an expensive one for them to win.
They're going to give the Global Esports CEO an aneurysm. Yeah. I mean, these second rounds are absurd. The decision for Rossi to push the smoke when Monya had already used his pull. Yeah. There is no chance.
It's been for 38 days since VIT Bone Cold won championship. हाँ ठीक है इसमें भी दिक्कत है.
Losable for Global, but all right. They get through it, and they're going to force up. So this is not a bonus round. This is just a straight up rifle v rifle round in round 3. Everything on the line. Whoever loses this, drop back down to an eco.
So much importance now being placed on this one. Global Esports not messing around, are they? Flooding that util through. Knife's going to get removed, though. Might put a stop here to Global Esports trying to exec it. It's a little bit slow, and it affords Twiston the right time to strike. What a flash through! Just the entirety of the opposing team just blind to that one, dashing through to the side, and the smoke's being watched for. Twiston, you absolute animal!
Nice.
3 kills claimed, but
1v2
he will answer back. But he's left in this 1v2. This is going to be difficult for him. He tapped the spike and just trying to at least hunt out one of the players. So intelligent by Destrian. Doesn't give him an easy task.
वो लोग बोनस के लिए थे क्या? बोनस के लिए होंगे ना?
Playing exactly the same on split too.
3 का भाई नहीं है. 4 का भाई नहीं है.
For clutches to happen because of his passive positioning.
Red बहुत अच्छा है.
Twiston is playing like a monster in this game though. Yeah. He's feasting, and because the trades are so poor from Global, he's just able to take one-on-one, then another one-on-one, and another one-on-one. He always gets the opportunity to reset his spray, reset his aim, because Global are just not quite sharp enough on it.
The kills end up flooding through, but then there's just a 1-2 hit, honestly. Vitality always ready. The flash repeat play, just
इनका क्या भाई है?
Esports regain that kind of balance.
Oh, इसने भी फुल इको किया है बे. इसके पास पैसा था. इसके एक्स्ट्रा पे मोने पे. ऑपरेटर अटैक में क्या करेगा?
They're playing for that heavy.
Rossi क्या है? अच्छा KO है.
Some orbs, get some ults online potentially for the next one.
Twiston's going making, hunting for the fights.
So greedy, but
also so confident, right?
Hardy को किया है लोगों.
He's got a shorty in his blade storm.
Timing दे दे.
Afford to make a play like this. Normally, would be frowned upon. Might be donating a rifle, but
did he catch a glimpse of somebody there? He knows they're in art either way.
Yeah, fight now.
चलो एक पिक निकला. अरे.
Around the back, reset there of the knives. SK Rossi doesn't.
कोई नहीं. Good.
Sort of bailout there.
Anti.
So 2-2 going to be that scoreline early on here in Pearl. Imperative now that Global Esports can regain their footing.
Yes, bro. Global Esports, bro.
They've got some big ults to work with. I mean, there's nothing really happening in that prior round, the anti-eco, but this is one where Aaron needs to cook up a strategy. They've got lockdown, they've got nightfall to work with. These are big ultimates to apply a lot of pressure.
Oh, भाई ये round पे इन लोगों को जीतना चाहिए, bro. Heavy ult है इनके पास. Lockdown भी वो भी है.
A-site more often because they don't have a very good way of.
एक और ult आएगी, extra की आएगी.
You can see the spike leaning in that direction, but I think the question of how to apply B pressure has also got to be asked. Both teams, of course, run in the same comp, so.
This could be a real.
Oh, भाई कहाँ चढ़ा हुआ है ये? सीढ़ी लगा दी क्या?
Updrafted up onto this box ahead of time, with an operator in his hands as well. He can watch all the way down this angle. The util didn't clear him away.
It is also a dangerous position to hold because we've seen Texture could double updraft and get the kills on him with the knife.
But okay, contact reclear now into A main. Destrance.
इससे कोई star नहीं लगाया हुआ है.
Behind this box, there wasn't really an attempt then. He was holding the angle. The crosshair placement was good, but does not get the kill. Dropping him down to 10 health. Someone yet survives, and Global Esports are just picking apart Vitality at the seams, is what it feels like. And now it's on Twiston. What can he do? Just a bit of an ego peek there with the operator through that smoke, gets the one kill. Going to be spotting out Multi, drops down an aid, and Munyet none the wiser. Look in his astral form.
Look where SK Rossi is here. He's gone all the way from B on the world's longest sound watching for it.
Yeah, he's watching for it. Seems to be just aware that this could be a possibility.
Timing दे
दे. Timing as well. Timing है. Paid for. Yep, the flank not being watched for. Tap onto the spike, and all the pressure is on him right now. Re-swinging down, but beams them down. Shorty, man. Shorty's a strong gun, but it won't save you against that.
Now the lineup there from Vitality. Pretty big mistake, but an understandable one. Great play from SK Rossi. I was worried that his flank would be either way too late or watched for, because Twiston felt like he had to read the whole time that Rossi was coming around. I don't know quite how Global Esports got read like that, but still, Rossi coming up with the goods. That's the first round where we've really seen him take control of the game.
यार. Oh,
so
nice
push. That's a fast play with a blade storm. You can see Texture, he'd already dashed across to take this A main control. Now that Cosmic Divide as well. So Nightfall's going to be used as a response to this one. Vitality making it difficult for them to commit onto this, and Global Esports should be second guessing this now because there's 3 players of Vitality just ready and waiting.
That is great work from Bone Cold as well. He had to use that exactly in reaction.
इन्होंने एस्ट्राइड भी मारी है ना?
So he was prepped and knew perfectly.
इन्होंने एस्ट्राइड मार दी, फेड अल्ट मार दी, और KO भी मार दी. Oh भाई.
Global Esports have been thrown a bit off balance here because now it's just a scramble. 5 players now grouped up. And use that Prowler to re-clear deep into B main, but
I would have loved to see Aaron use his lockdown as a fake re-hit onto the A site to allow Global Esports to go for this pivot, but they're making it really noisy. A lot of utilities stomping the footsteps all along, and Vitality are just booking it to the B site.
There's no nuance in this approach from Global Esports. Making all the noise in the world right now. Angle not being watched for. And what a timing to take, Munyet. Ripping off the header sender. Swinging through, no, and that spacing just not good enough. A collateral in play, and one after the other. They try to take the fights, but they will all fall. Twiston.
Anti.
Absolute masterclass in his performance, but again, it's just those little errors piling up for Global Esports that just doesn't allow them to sail away with a round win.
अभी Vitality पे extra lockdown
like
दोनों है.
Twiston, especially on Jet, that allows you to take timings and then dash away to safety. And he's just loving it out there. Yeah. Twiston's had one of the best opening games I can remember. He's 11-4 already after 6 rounds have been played. He had 20 kills at the half on split. I can't remember exactly what he finished on. but this is an insane opener.
Now a fight to be taken. So risky in play, and you've just got to be kidding me.
There's another one.
Yep.
It's over in a flash.
Collateral after collateral.
The word flawless doesn't quite.
ट्रेड का आउल जो रिवीलर तो फ्री आता है वो मतलब इन्फो के लिए डाल देना चाहिए था.
Even still, it's been a recurring theme, honestly, for global esports, dropping a couple of these rounds just from.
भाई इसको जो 2 राउंड में 2 कोलैट मिले हैं ना भयंकर.
Spacing between them.
Oh भाई.
Honestly, it feels like right between the elbows. I mean, even he's like, okay, well,
sure.
Not sure how I achieved that one.
Sure, I'll take it.
Okay.
अच्छा उनका जेट अच्छा खेल रहा है.
Global need to find an answer. They still haven't found an opportunity to use Aaron's lockdown. Aaron's been playing the middle of the map, trying to push and pull the different pieces that he has on his chessboard, but he hasn't really found enough opportunities to get involved himself, and Aaron was actually one of their biggest players.
ये लोग देखो जेट से दूर जा रहे हैं. ये लोग जेट के वो अगेंस्ट खेल रहे हैं.
They debate that op shot. They know the Twiston's playing the other direction. Now the util's going to be sent flying through. That's going to be a prowler up close. Lockdown as a response, though.
And they know that this is going to get value.
Nice, good pick, good pick.
Out the whole of A. However, Bone Cold running into Monya there does open a path for Global Esports to just pivot back.
Just didn't expect there to be players there, I suppose, but Lockdown used ever so slightly later, so yeah. Clearing out this site, but there was space.
Someone
needs to break this turret. Texture just being
left pick, left pick, left pick, left marker.
Do they know the Vitality could be in back halls here? Do they know the lockdown?
No back halls control, and that's an immediate punish from that one. Just on a heaven position, he was offered a free shot, but it just about missed this one. Are they going to be able to get this plant down? They haven't cleared these players out of back halls again. Just seeing limits to it, and Destrin, he's got this flank timing. No one's watching it. So many gaps in the play, and just like that, picked apart. Munya, 1 star, has the pull. He can disrupt this one, but so much to do for him. Good timing. He is smoked away, though, but that's going to dissipate. And it's all on this.
They don't know where he is.
What timing can he take? Buys his time, has to hit the shots, reset one at the avenue, but it's just being stuck.
and Twiston hitting the no-scope after someone tries to shorty him.
Yeah.
How dare you, shorty Twiston? 15-4. And Global Esports just not able to put together a round again. The gap that Destrian exploits is inch perfect. He got into this position because he'd slunk his way, on the flank through B link. So while Bone Cold ran through spawn, Destrian managed to wiggle his way through the shop area. And he knew that Monya wasn't watching it.
Just not enough layers.
But also, Vitality are doing such a good job at just abusing all of the holds, right? It's one thing to know that your opponent's making mistakes, but Vitality are getting the punish every time.
Very intelligent gameplay from them. Another instance now where it is, of course, Global Esports knocked down to the weaker buy. You can't have a repeat of that first map. Said earlier, if they can regain their kind of footing, but so far, obviously,
उनका केजे प्लांट कर रहा था ना जो मर गया था.
5-3 being that scoreline. It's not too wide. Still, a lot could be done.
Yeah, there's obviously chances back into this map and chances back into this series, especially if their players were feeling.
भाई हमें किसको सपोर्ट करना है? Global Esports को bro.
To the game and they can get over it.
Yeah, flash through. Horn's quite good. Lands into the back of the side, but ever so slightly mistimed. And okay, Texture, let's see what you can do. Cloudburst laid down. His gun wasn't ready.
बहुत कम HP कर सकता है.
Dropping down quite low. That's a double swing onto a high-low setup. The frenzy, just not enough bullets to make the most of it.
क्या HP है उसकी?
Next round, the most important one though for Global. It's an opportunity to get the momentum back and put around on the board where you'll still be able to buy next time. Cosmic Divide can
still be like the best offer room है.
Pop a Cosmic Divide down on B, go for the plant spot behind the box, play post plants off the back of that. There are certainly options here. But it's about how they navigate the space and make it so the Vitality aren't just stacking.
NT में तेरा Nightbot बोल रहा है nice try Mortal.
Vitality are looking like they want to fight really heavily over B.
NT में तेरा Nightbot nice try Mortal बोल रहा है.
The Astra wall is available.
हाँ.
Giving them easy access to the top side there of B main.
नहीं बैठो ना. तुम नहीं थे तो मैं आ गया था. नहीं आना.
If Twiston scares them away from B, Look what Destrian's got for them on A. He's just sat in secret with an Odin, waiting to deny the plant.
With a turret covering his head.
Yeah.
I mean, the setup is just so well thought out right now, and the alarm bot's going to give all the information for Sender to know that they are lurking their way through Art.
Salah and Bone Cold have been cooking.
Yeah. These setups are looking nice. Nade close, though. That should push them back off that corner, but they haven't broken the alarm bot. So, full knowledge to be gained now. Vitality know that nobody's committed off the back of that utility through Art.
And Twiston's dropped back into a more passive position where he still gets good info, and that's freed up Multi and Bone Cold to roam around the map and fill in the gaps.
That's a good knife, though. We'll at least deactivate that alarm, but the players are there to just...
अरे भाई ये हर जगह कहाँ से पहुँच जाता है पागल.
It's a flash and a nightfall. Does push him back.
Nice.
Just absolute ego plays. Fully blinded over the pop flash, but... Well, just some blind fire, it seems like. Now Bone Cold needs to be the difference maker. Vitality have dropped like flies.
Nice.
This timing is absolutely everything, but the shots just do not land still. One after the other.
Let's go, Rossi, bro.
Expected to be a second player. The answer is no. This high ground position, a bit of spam there with the Odin. Destrian does reveal his position. Left down into a 2v4.
Nice.
Double swing there, and a weapon just not good enough for that job.
Good double face, though. That's what we've been missing.
That is what we've been missing, and despite the fact that Sender's crosshair placement was immaculate, not going to be afforded anything else.
I like the pathing from Global there. I think they found a really nice opening through B-Link. But what on earth was Malsi doing? Flashing with his knife out, running through the smoke. That's a major blunder. So far, all of the unforced errors have been in Global Esports camp. And that's the first round where we've really seen Vitality make a play and then fumble it completely. But you've got to give credit. The utility pressure from Global was great as they went through B-Link. They pushed Twiston away. They just also got gifted the kill on Mulsi. Can they string together this one opportunity into a decent half here? They still have this cosmic divide. A B site hit would be nice, but I think Sender's got the read. He's got nanoswarms in the common plant spots on B.
Yeah. Counter knife is very nice. Really getting off onto the two players there, so it suppresses them and it pushes them back.
My big problem though is Global have created no pressure on the other side of the map. Destrian has already been confident enough to just poke his head around A main. Oh, yep, nothing there. And there's 4 players already on the B side. Global need to have a bit more of a spread presence, a global presence, if you will.
Oh my god.
On the map.
So I'm looking for a new co-caster.
Suit को VLT पे पनौती लगाने बोलो. VLT नहीं VIT है Vitality.
Yeah.
नहीं भाई वो देख लिया ना मेरे ट्रेनर ने.
Global cutting a bit of noise and offering the tiniest of noises and pressure in mid has made the defenders spread out a little
side में रख दो.
But not enough.
Be aware, surely, because look at this reposition. Close to the corner, Sender's there. And is there going to be util to clear them out? Usually there's a seize that accompanies this push. Lassie does have it available, and they just push forward. Shorty's in their hands. Right up in the air, inaccurate, still finding the kill. But they have been pushed back. But a moment now, you gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me! Oh my goodness. Weakening the players, still they answer back and into the back of the halls. There's just a fight being taken. SK Rossi winning it out and does claim that area of the map for them. Down to Destrian. What can he do here? Is anybody gonna be watching for him? Aaron tucked behind the box, just waiting it out. A lot of fights he needs to try and take, but it's all that pressure, there's no way. Good swing timing from Aaron though, but
चलो 2v1 है ना.
Now 2v1. And Twiston is running out of time. Exchange there for the rifle. Has one more cloud burst, but that now a swarm. Tags onto him. 55 health drop down, a bit of random spam. Finds the first kill, but he did not get half on this defuse. Dash enabled. Aaron sticking all the way through, and oh my goodness, almost making the play, but salvaged in the end.
Huh?
Whoa, that is
fake reaction तो हो नहीं सकता.
Round. But I think Global Esports has done a great job there. Their ability to get into
मेरा ही जाएगा बस.
To get into a favorable post plan, I like that. They're finally being able to string a couple of rounds together, and this is already a good half. 5 rounds on the board. If they can push it to 6, they're really starting to apply the pressure to Vitality. And you're seeing the players get a bit more confident. They're waking up.
Waking up indeed.
नहीं ये नहीं.
Make this an even half. It'll be beautiful for them. Lovely setup. This fight is about to take place with the operators. Guess what?
Good pick, yaar. Good pick.
Diff occurring right there and then. Actually making a name for himself, honestly, as well as that Korean Jet player of 2023. And Twiston has been so far an absolute demon in this series. Shutting him down early. It's going to be quite good for them.
भाई ये वाला भारी मैच होने वाला है. मोनेट सही है बे, देख मोनेट अच्छे एंगल पे है लेकिन ये चेक करके आ रहा है कैसे.
Monya's gonna have to control this. Yo, the timing there was just so unfortunate. Monya dropping into his Astra form, but now there needs to be some pace. Moving all the way forwards, can he take control in the back of this side? And oh my goodness!
They're planting in the open.
Just beamed all the way down, nothing covering them as well from that position. Bonecold's handed some of the easiest kills of his life. And now the lockdown. Just layer after layer. Pushing the players back, texture just cannot quite get out of there. And SK Rossi in that 1v3. The pride of India. But with 25 seconds left, he's put in an impossible task.
We saw Aaron win a 1v3 earlier on to give Global Esports the first pistol round. One. Rossi's got the talent.
Fight being taken, but not much time left into this one. Util just being dumped through and a wall watched for. Destrian knew that time pressure was on, and 7-5 will be that scoreline. Global Esports fighting back in their own way, making it quite respectable.
Yeah, I think that is a respectable half. That's what you're looking for from Global. Apply some pressure. If they can come out with the pistol round win and follow up again, which would be 4 out of 4 pistol rounds, but if they can do it, this is still a really close map.
Yeah, and now a very special halftime as well. Let's throw it down to Yinsu, who's got a special guest for our halftime interview.
That is right, Bren and Saisho. I've got Rushi with me, the co-founder and owner of Global Esports. You waited a long time to see your players up on this stage. You know, how does it feel to finally see them play? I see you guys down there supporting them as well.
Yes, it feels amazing. It's crazy. We didn't think we'd get this far, but here we are, playing on the biggest stage in the world.
Yeah, I love hearing you guys cheer for them as well, all of the GE fighting coming on as well. What do you make of their performance so far? That was a really close half.
Yes, it's been okay so far.
कहाँ से stream कर रहे हो? मैं stream कर रहा हूँ. मतलब हम लोग एक कैफे में हैं बैंड्रा में. यहाँ पे पूरा watch party चल रहा है. If आप लोगों ने हमारा Instagram story and all देखा होगा तो आपको पता चलेगा. तो हम सारा SATL यहाँ पे है. बहुत सारे creators आए हैं यहाँ पे.
Oh wow, it's easy. GE fighting.
GE fighting?
Yes.
Anything else? Because I feel like some of them looked a little bit nervous in the beginning, but they're really picking up the pace now.
No, I think they're okay. A lot of them have experience on stage before, and the people that I was worried about are Monya and Texture because they haven't played on such a big stage before. So I think they're doing pretty good. I think now the team is just getting warmed up. They'll be good.
We're going to get to a map 3. You're promising me this. You're confident?
If not, I'll get you a jersey.
Oh, I'll take it. Okay, let's get a GE fighting at home for the fans that are watching.
Okay, perfect.
GE fighting!
GE fighting.
Yes.
And also shout out to the 300 plus people watching at our watch party in Mumbai.
Oh, okay. I love that. I love that shout out. Thank you so much for joining me. I can't wait to see what they can do in the second half, and I'm going to pitch this back to Saisho and Bren to get it on the way.
बैंड्रा की बंटी कहाँ है? यहाँ बैठी है.
GE fighting. That's the key.
Fighting.
That is the key,
key to victory. And listen, this map is looking much better for them in comparison to that first map that we were just watching on Split, where it was very one-sided. You know, when you have new rosters being formed in fashion, like Global Esports, talent coming from many different directions, different teams as well, different nationalities, there's always a risk that they might just falter on the big stage like this.
Yeah, but heading into this pistol round, it's going to be so important. I think it's almost too much to ask that Global Esports could win 4 out of 4 pistols, but so far they've been good for it. They've had set plays, and I feel like maybe quite a lot of their prep focus has been on winning those pistols.
Yeah.
And, you know, they tripped up on Split, they weren't able to convert, but that was a different map. Maybe they were in a different place mentally too. This one's really important.
So a lot of focus being placed now onto this pistol round. You can already see it. Waves of that utility being used. Hammered into the back of the B side, Twiston up close, and there's that Nano Swarm. Texture just trying to evacuate. He was dropped down low and does fall, but SK Rossi still alive, still in the fight, and he answers back. 2 kills claimed, making it that much more difficult for them, and still the flank being watched for.
Nice play.
Yeah, controlling that spray down, so watching for the flank. Now it's down to the 2 players of Vitality. Bonko will get this plant off. There's not going to be any pressure applied to try and disrupt them, but Destron with the timing, no one really watching that one, and now taking the swings all together. Munyet inside of his astral form, and finally the swing is there from Aaron. The team captain, the IGL, making sure that they can slam dunk once again another pistol round.
4 out of 4 pistols for Global. They look clean in these rounds. They just need to extend it, that kind of focus, to the rest of their game. What a performance. And what a 2K from Rossi as well. This one really crucial to shut down Sender. But the anchoring from Rossi there was very nice. The kill onto Texture so important. And Bren, I know we talk a lot about Rossi, I feel like he's just such a cool player in terms of his backstory and his motivations.
Pokemon में जिससे पिटते हैं वही वाला Pokemon लेते हैं अगला.
With Yinsu, and he said that he's done well domestically, but that was never his goal. He said, in India, we always worship foreign idols, foreign teams. We never had an Indian team to look up to or an Indian player to look up to because we had no achievements outside our country. And SK Rossi was saying, I need to change that. I am in a position to change that. This is my moment. I need to do it. I mean, that just speaks, I think, to the way that Global Esports is approaching this game, the way that Rossi's approaching this game. And this is a winnable map for them.
Yeah, so winnable. That importance as well for India as a region. We really have been hammering this point home, but it's a region that's just been, you know, marred, I think, by issues with the infrastructure as well. Just really kind of like putting a dampener, I think, on the esports scene. But this is a massive see if they can make the most of it here on this big stage for SK Rossi.
Yeah, can you capitalize?
Yeah.
And the rest of Global as well. I mean, it's players from all over the place with different backgrounds and different stories, which makes it a really ambitious
setup.
Texture picking up both of those kills over on A and shutting down one of the biggest threats. 3v5 for Vitality. Surely it's unwinnable, even with the Sheriff potential.
Even with the Sheriffs, I mean, oh my goodness, it's looking a bit awkward. Nowhere near as awkward as it has been in the prior map. Already just layering into the util. Sees the horn, everything being used. Just trying to make it difficult for them, but Texture's watching that angle down. So this time, Global Esports able to win out in that anti-eco round. Not too much damage being done as well to their own economy, so a much better beginning to this half.
Yeah, super important. And if you recall last time, round 2, Global Esports barely kept anybody alive. And they had bonus round hai lekin. Round 3, so they didn't get a bonus.
Ye important round hai.
With how cleanly Texture dealt with these players, they've got a good bonus round.
Yeah.
So do we see a set strat? Can they damage the Vitality?
Yaar, hum logon ne अच्छा किया bhai comparatively.
For the first time in this entire series, the play is actually in Global Esports' hands.
Where are others? यहाँ वहाँ बैठे सब लोग.
Taking place just yet, but that slow take of A main control from Vitality. Have the rifles, of course. At the same time, that util being sent forwards is just Bone Cold alone. Just trying to make sure that they've got presence, and this time the swing timings are there. They were spaced up, overlapping each other. There was potential for that spray down, but the site going to be gained. So Vitality realizing it's been offered for them. Now timing. Twiston is so pushed all the way into their spawn with the rifle in his hands right now, and it has been cleared, but where's the trade? It's not there!
Oh, that's
Sprays
unbelievable!
Them down, and a dash back just to disengage. Wants to play with the rest of his team in his high-low setup. Brutal to try and break through. Texture, in the midst of all of this, that's managed to find himself a rifle, but 2v4, might as well try and play it. A bit of a random spam again, just onto that common angle means that Monjet's dealt with, and oh my goodness, the reactions just dragging that one all the way down, finding a final bullet.
The spray control from Twiston and Malsey was impeccable in that round. And once again, the same as Split, this duo, this relatively unknown duo to the global stage is pounding.
Yeah.
And if you talk to any fans of EMEA, Twiston and Malsey, they're primed. They're ready to take that next step up to the big stage and show everybody how talented they are. Underrated, but very skilled.
They have just been waiting for that opportunity to showcase what they can do on the global events, on the global stage.
अबे नहीं रे, दोनों की यूज किया रे उसने.
And that bonus round from Global didn't actually do very much damage to the Vitality economy. So...
Flash play! Oh my goodness, that's a little bit awkward.
Oh, Texture didn't take a point of damage, but I don't know how.
Yeah, I mean, just about gets out of there, doesn't he? Still, another pop flash play, and that angle was just perfect, but oh my goodness! Monjet just running circles around them, spraying them down, a bit of inaccuracy helping them out, and well, the main choke point also being watched for. Texture. A bit more of a defensive position from him, but this round so far just entirely secured up from Monjet, really.
Yeah, I think the biggest player that has improved from map 1 to map 2, and maybe shaken off some of the nerves that Rushi was talking about, is Monye. How many times did we see him push a smoke, take a bad fight, not be there for a trade on split? And now on Pearl, he is in the right place at the right time more often than not.
The timing of that was just insane.
It was, yeah. I mean, he's playing anti-flash and he swings to help his teammate, sprays them both down. Second kill, maybe a bit of run and gun.
Sender's going to try and do his best to win out that round, but no swings, no easy fights being afforded. And so a Prime Gaming flawless here for Global Esports. 8-8. Being this scoreline.
That's major.
Yeah.
And Vitality are actually now put in a difficult spot. Their economy is good enough to force, but it will leave them with a bit of a worse setup. How Sender quite beats that first engagement, I am not sure. Sender should have had the kill on Twistin. Oh, sorry. Sender should have had the kill on Texture 10 times out of 10 there.
Huh? But a flawless round working out, and now it has.
Where is Rega? He's on the sofa using his mobile phone.
Setting up the heat a little
He's very busy planning his next Himalayan trip.
This one is a bit of a different task, and so they feel pressured to take that tax time out and decide what they want to do.
I think part of the decision will be, do we want to force or not?
कितने round होते हैं? It's like race to 13.
Pedestrian's only going to have a sheriff. Yeah. So it puts him in a bit of an odd spot, but it's pretty fine to have your Astra play passive on the attack side and mostly just control one area.
उसको लाल पानी चाहिए.
Play the post plant.
There's some good ults that are online for Vitality, and they're all going to be coming online as well. So you have that Nightfall and Lockdown available to them. One away from the no command.
I think from a tactical perspective, from a strategic perspective, there's not too much that Salah can be talking to them about here, because their explorations through the map have been relatively successful. They just got double sprayed there. I don't think that's really like something you need to change the macro game plan around.
Here's a fight that's going to be taking place. Again, the Battle of the Jets, you're going to be witnessing this head-to-head. Recall star up close. At least just a star popped actually off the back of that one, and it's left ever so slightly a gap. Texture. Beautiful shot from him, just finding the target. Twistin though, playing up close. Flash play as well. Let's see if he wants to try and play through this one. A dash forwards into it, and the angle not watched for. SK Rossi with the anchoring. Might have just overcooked it though. Tries to take the wider swing, wanted a little bit more, and he is going to be punished. And that lockdown, Texture just mistiming it.
Okay, doesn't look like Texture's going to get punished, because this would be wild overextension for Sender, but they might catch a rotator, retaker.
Yeah, pushing forward, just trying to take this fight forwards. There's a Prowler, and a whole lot of utility just jumped through. Texture though, what an answer once more. The Blade Storm ripped out of his hands, and 4 kills were found in that round. Wonderful, wonderful response. And you know, for as much as we have been highlighting Twistin as that player, as that guy who's just been the spearhead, the entirety of Vitality, just putting up monstrous numbers. Texture finally coming online and finally really just showcasing what he can do.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie, I was worried when he got caught in the lockdown, but they'd already shut down the player that could punish him. I think if Twistin was alive, he would have sought out that duel, but instead Texture allowed to stay alive and pop off. Aaron's happy with that. Texture's not a bad replacement for Cryo.
Yeah, apparently.
As a teammate, as a Jet starter setup.
क्या हुआ?
Have we seen Vitality on an eco round yet?
कौन आया?
I mean, we have when they've been losing these pistol rounds.
Sure.
But outside of that, it feels unlikely.
I can't quite recall, but it definitely feels like Global have got the best opportunity they've had. Again, Monye, though, gets a 3K out of that position, even though he's pushed.
Being pressured there by the Stingers as well is a difficult task to really remain unscathed. So the fact that he did get 3 is quite impressive. But they have handed over this rifle to Destrian.
Guys, this is sparkling vodka water.
Players afforded for Vitality to make
vodka kya hota hai?
It's going to have to be again, heroics and lurk plays maybe. See him throwing out starter just to throw in a bit of subterfuge, but I believe there's an alarm bot just before it. Yeah, so they're just fully aware that he's not going to be pushing through that smoke.
And he was hoping that the smoke would draw more players to A and allow him to get a lurk off, but Bazi was watching that area no matter what. Doesn't really look like there's going to be an opportunity for Vitality to turn this one around, especially with only 30 seconds, but we've seen them win some crazy rounds so far.
Maar isko maar killa. Yeah, boy!
Stars just being placed down.
Yeah,
all down to Destrian, but is contained, taken care of. Global Esports showcasing that they were fully aware of that one, obviously losing prior control of mid in that round. So they have taken the lead in this map. This next round now going to be so important for Vitality. Ton of ults available to them if they wanted to try and swing it around, but Global Esports even on their map hit. Find themselves with a steady lead. The potential is there now to try and take this all away.
Don't worry, guys.
And I think that the level that Vitality is playing at
आप
is
टेंशन मत लो, जब हम लोग old enough हो जाएंगे तब हम लोग line choose क्या watch party नहीं, sorry, stream करेंगे.
Stepping up to the challenge.
बुड्ढे होने के बाद करेंगे ना.
Bit of a fight happening in mid here as well. Looks like they want to pressure with the operator. Nice shot. Again takes that tip of the spear off.
Just able to do that one on LAN apparently.
And now Vitality without the tip of the spear are just left with a stick.
And again, it's a recurring theme, it feels like. Texture just removing that threat of Twiston. The guy is supposed to be leading the charge.
The defensive side probably just favored, you know, in the Jet head-to-head in general. But that's what you absolutely need to do. You can't allow Twiston to just have his way, which he was able to do all the time in map 1.
The Prowler does push away Texture from that angle. Now opting to play at the back of the side, but there's going to be that no command sent through. Watching for the smoke push. No one there. It's going to dissipate. Now a Cosmic Divide as well. Texture, you got to be kidding me. You can't be trying to push through this one. I mean, can't use any abilities whatsoever. Doesn't even have a dash. Does he still want to try and take this one? Plant it out into the open.
It's a great plant spot.
Yeah.
I think the key player to watch here is going to be Monye.
This timing just being taken into mid. Could be a bit of a backstab play. Prowler goes through the wall as it does fade away. Monye now. Not the smokes, it's a double face, and okay. Contained, just that flank, that one play that was happening. Now to Nightfall, scatters his way across, but it's that 3v3. Bazzi sticking it, does manage to get half. The shot's not fired, but eventually they deal with him. But has enough been done for them? The smoke again fading away. Texture sticking it now with the cloud burst, but eventually enough shots fired off into the cloud burst that they find their mark. Vitality, a little bit squeaky that round, but they do eventually claim it.
I think though the strengths of Vitality's post plant would win them most of the time that round.
Yeah.
The fact that they control art so heavily, and this kill here to me just closes the round out.
Because ये वाला kill सबसे important था.
They have 3 players holding this angle, and the spike is just right in front of them. Unless the spray misses miraculously and someone gets a full diffuse off, they've got this. And there's the punish. I was wondering if anybody would try and pull that out. It is such a dangerous position to opt from when your opponent has knives.
For exactly the reason that we just saw. Head-to-head, that battle that's taking place between these two players. Twiston, he answers back, doesn't he? Gets up to 20 kills on it, but holding the up-close position. Dash was just about fading, he couldn't get out of there.
Come on!
And that was a really bold angle to be taking. The defenders have the advantage there almost all the time. And this lockdown is so early from Aaron. Monye can't overheat.
Offsetting of the move. He's going to be isolated. Jump Peak going to be spotting him out. Bazzi has to try and bail him out here. Util drop forwards. There we go. Swing is just perfect. Fragment nade did rebound against the wall and take out Monye, but Global Esports were showing that discipline, but they have offered up the entirety of A now. This lurk timing from Sender.
अभी आगे जाके बैठ जाएगा अभी.
To the back of A. Now the Lombard though is going to be revealing that that position is compromised. So
fight in mid. There's something going on here. Destrian
what is occurring?
Clashing with Aaron. They're walking back.
I mean, just right down into sewers, watching it. And timing needs to be the trade. Bazzi contains. Pushed into the corner. The position is known. The flick of the wrist is there, but is there time? That is the question. It's going to be sprinting all the way with a knife out now.
Rossi has nade.
And it's not really planted. A quick tap of it right out into the open. It should be a slam dunk. Indeed it is. SK Rossi. Safe hands from him. So that 11th round is going to be claimed now here for Global Esports. One step closer.
Something we haven't even mentioned thus far, Brent, too, is that Global Esports, from what we've been told, were not intended to play with this roster. They were intended to play with Ronski on the team.
Yeah.
And so Global Esports have like a 7-man rotating roster, but they had They had found the core that worked for them and were forced to pivot coming into this event. And the fact that they are now on the precipice of going to a third map and taking the game to Vitality, a dark horse squad from EMEA with a lot of skill on the roster. This is already impressive.
Yeah.
Already impressive. Global Esports, though, need to keep their foot on the gas. You can't allow Vitality to come back into it, and Vitality are going to have opportunities.
That's going to be their aim with this timeout.
Yeah, this next round, though, they're taking the timeouts whenever they've got a force buy situation. Their economy is really poor here, Vitality. They can afford like a rifle or two, but it's not great. So I think Salah's going to be saying here and having the final decision on whether or not they play for overtime. I don't know what you would do in this spot. This is so tough.
It's a really hard ask, isn't it? It seems like what they are opting into is half bite. Rifle in the hands of Twiston might just be good enough.
Yeah, it's a hero rifle.
Yeah, but the bunny's running so low, and there's no ultimates to work with either.
Very important round. Very important round.
To try and
सामने वाले इको पे है by the way. सामने वाले बोनस पे है. मतलब वो इको पे इको पे नहीं है. मतलब full buy कर लिया. Half buy है उनका. Sort of.
It's going to be trying to carve out a path for them, but Texture watching this one. Operator tries to go for the flick, now being pressured, and Sender wasn't watching the right angle. Still, Texture is under a lot of pressure right now, just being flooded in and out of trap position. Still, how does he claim a second kill? It is even though, 3-3.
But now they got rifles.
And yeah, they have exchanged the weaponry around.
Such a massive one to win. Because that also gives up the entire part of the map that the spike's been planted for. Destrian has an awful position here. He's not going to meet anybody, he's going to stay alive, but he can't spam the plant.
The wall blocks him away. SK Rossi with a flank timing, just impeccable. Bone Cold, not expecting it. And this task ahead of Destrian, just to try and salvage this, it's an impossible one. Doesn't have any util, not going to be watched for. Either side swinging back and forth, and SK Rossi finalizes it. And Global Esports now on the precipice. One more round is what's going to stand between them and bringing this to map number 3.
Their defense side has been so impressive on this map. 4 out of 4 pistols won, but also starting to get the rifle rounds really working. Textures coming alive, Monya playing really well too. And even when the rounds are getting dangerous, they're finding the punishes and clearing these areas of the map out really well.
Yeah.
One more round required, and we head to Lotus. And I have no idea what can happen on Lotus. Don't even get us started. Big clash over B.
Massive fight being taken, and the flash is good for him. All the players just out of position. SK Rossi, he's swinging wide right now. He's being forced back and forth. Flick of the wrist, it misses. Texture doesn't land the shot.
Full aggressive.
They've already lost it, but it is that 1-for-1.
But I think Rossi panicked a little bit. He used his ultimate in the midst of all of this. Maybe just to try and keep himself alive. That's a big tool.
Util, yeah, it was a big tool. Not going to be available now. Aaron.
चलेगा.
Try and hold down.
Give away कर दे अभी के लिए.
Util was cleared out. His turret not going to be watched now for any space that it's gained, and it forces him to just keep his eyes on it physically himself. Doesn't have that util. Does have his back being watched though. You can see the util there with the alarm button, and Nanoswarm needs to stay alive though, and there we go. Timing. Nanoswarm's popped off, and it has separated them. Split them up. SK Rossi right into the corner. Does he realize? Finally spots it. Spike dropped down, and now the re-swing. Reset in the aim, one after another. SK Rossi with his country represented, India, taking them all the way now to map number 3 in this series.
What a map win, and what an emphatic way to do it at the end. Pearl belongs to Global Esports, and Vitality have been knocked completely asunder there. Not expecting to give that map up. We got a game.
Yep.
And I have no clue how Lotus is going to go. It's got to be the most...
Reload.
Play on split. They finally demonstrated what they're actually capable of.
Yeah, overcoming an absolutely massive obstacle, but we will be heading to map number 3. We'll take a short break. On the other side of things, of course, continuation of the series.
चलो गाइस आप लोग देखो मत
Spike carrier kill. One
When it rains, will you think of me? Will you wander off into your head? Shield your eyes from everything you said. Will remain when I fall asleep and wake up to someone else instead, like you were never really here in the first place. Never really here in the first place. Like you were never really here. If anything goes, then why won't you come to me? Wrote you in prose, but you never seem to read. Guns in my heart, a monster in the streets. I met you on the other Will you think of me? Will you think of all the things you said? With your hands crossed tight around my neck, babe, the pain, the way you let me bleed out. Did I dream always I'd be blind? Did I die or is this making it out alive? Did I dream or was I being blind? Did I die or is this making it out?
Do you believe in magic? Oh, well, it seems like all the GE fans definitely do as they pick up a pivotal win, tying the series up 1-1. Welcome back to the desk, everyone. Goldenboy here alongside with Mimi as well as Achilleos. And, you know, it could have gone poorly for them, but they managed to find a way. GE managed to find a way round after round, and you got to give credit to a lot of the superstars on this team. Players like Texture, players like Rossi, finding those opportunities and those moments, Mimi. What a match that was.
It was really a great game, and it started off, in my opinion, GE looked really, really rough on that attacking side. The spacing was bad. People were pushing in front of their Jet player. Nothing was clicking for them. It looked like the game was done and over with, but we get into the second half, they win the pistol and play a fantastic defensive side. I knew
they had it from the moment that they didn't drop the anti-eco. No, but you're completely right. There was a lot of roughness, but then as we got over to the defending side, good Lord, everybody absolutely activated for the side of Global. Texture as well, back on Jet, is just chef's kiss performances coming out of this guy right here, dropping a 288 ACS. I mean, it's huge. This is why if you could look back, he's played now 119 maps of Jet compared to 18 on Raze. He is a Jet through and through. This guy could very well be the Korean Jet of this year.
The Korean Jet, he is that guy. And there were similarities between both these teams on their attacking side. Team Vitality, same struggled. Spacing fell off. Our Jet players pushing in front, struggling to trade on those B-long executes. You saw it in the clip. Every time they made one of those mistakes, it was Texture really, really punishing. And their side execs as well were struggling against these fantastic anchor players.
Yeah, actually, you know, speaking of the anchoring, I do want to give a shout out to Aaron as well, because he has been such a reliable hand for this team every single time. Put him into midfield, he'll get you one. He puts the utility where he needs to. He's locking down these sites.
On X set, Aaron only called one side of the map, only the defense. This is where this guy
bread and butter, baby.
And he did it again. The anchoring from him was fantastic, and same from Meunier. He had a great map set.
He really did, and that was one of the more surprising things because we didn't see too much from really anybody on GE on that first map of Split, but Meunier in particular was also struggling as that second controller. It was Aaron who was really the only one who was able to get anything done, and then Bazzi as well in that second half. But yeah, what a leveled up performance from him, constantly coming away with 3Ks, 4Ks. It was a nutty performance from this guy.
Well, and here's the thing, right? One of the things that we were really highlighting, especially in the Split game, Mimi, was the pistols.
Yeah.
If they were able to win an eco, maybe there's a chance here. And they were able to find that success. And how big was that for them?
I mean, it was fantastic, 4 for 4 thus far in the series. But this time, they were not choking away to those rounds with the Sheriffs. It felt like they cleaned up, particularly in that second half. If Split was defined by a lot of unforced errors, the nerves, your first time on stage, this map was kind of defined by GE warming up and showing us what they can really do.
And that just goes back to our interview there with Rushi and what he said. He said in their scrims, they do often drop that first map. They start off a little bit slow, and then they heat up, and then they take the scrim from there. And that might just be what we're looking at.
Yeah, and, you know, also, well, the pride of India, right at the end of the game there. SK Rossi doing it big on the world stage, and I'm sure everyone in Mumbai was watching and losing their mind with this, because this young man, we know the skill is there, Mimi, and this was the moment where I really felt like, hey, SK Rossi, welcome to the VCT.
Yeah, again, look back at map number 1. He was whipping some easy shots on the stage. Comes into this one and individually is feeling it. And you see how much it means to him. But also, from that watch party that you're talking about, it means so much to the Indian fans. This is the first time that entire subcontinent of so many millions of people has had someone to represent them at an international Valorant tournament, and it is paying off.
Yeah, it is a wonderful thing to see. But let's go ahead, though, and move into our last map here. We're going to map 3, folks, and it's going to be Lotus. We've been talking a lot about global esports, and they certainly deserve their moment. But let's talk about the fact that Vitality were flustered coming out of that game. And now you're going into, well, an unknown commodity yet again with Lotus.
I mean, it went from easy breezy, you know, shrugging, saying, like, I don't know what these guys are doing, you know, them feeding each other, miming feeding each other at the end of the map, to just looking completely lost in that second half. But now we go to Lotus, and we have to once again say, what is going to happen?
Prime Gaming Agent Select is about to take place here, and you see what the players have hovered before. Harbor from Destrain, maybe? That could be nice.
I would like to see that one out of Destrain. It looks like if they do go through with it, it would be a solo controller answer to this map. For GE, they're going for kind of a simple comp. You see this on a lot of maps. The Omen there as a kind of the double dive with texture on that Jet. But for the other side, Vitality go for the fade raise. They're going to be good on their defense at Gambits. They're going to be good at stalling out, retaking with that Harbor wall as well. But it's a solo controller. A lot of pressure is going to be on that Harbor player.
Absolutely.
Well, here we go, folks. Map 3, one more to decide who moves forward in this competition. Let's go ahead and send it right back over to Brennan Sideshow. Hope you guys are having a good time.
Certainly am, yeah. This series is delivering so far. And yeah, this final map going to be deciding who moves forward and who goes home between Vitality and Global Esports. So far, back and forth, honestly. And now we're heading to Lotus, honestly. Even more unknowns. We didn't know anything before we were heading into the series about these two teams. You know, we had rough glimpses, I suppose, of Vitality from the offseason. But now we really don't know what to expect.
I mean, just nothing. You can look at how you expect the compositions to work, but we've seen a range of different comps have a lot of success on Lotus. So I don't know who to give the advantage to
this fight. A lot of early pressure, it looks like, from Global Esports towards A main. There's going to be a fault line there, nice and early through the connector. And the goal of this is just to try and contain this space towards A main. An instant response, though. Look at this. Vitality willing to pivot, taking controller B main actually, and now going to be using the wall to just rotate her all the way around. Try and claim a free side onto C. A lot of util being dumped into the back of it just to clear it out, making sure that if anybody is there, they're going to be scurrying away. But it is going to be afforded now a free plan, but it's flank timing. Oh my goodness! Huge. Punishing this one, still running backwards, backpedaling from Sender.
It's a good paranoia.
Yep, it was good. Caught onto him there, and now this pressure is really on them. Sender needs to come up with the goods and just can't quite deliver it. Taking an awkward fight there, awkward engagement. And the spike's been dropped down. Vitality were getting ahead of themselves. They took complete control of the connectors of the back of their spawn ahead of time, thinking that it was just going to be offered for them.
How do they get the spike back now?
Yeah, I mean, how do you play retake? Not much util you've got available to them other than the wall from Destrian. Let's see what he does here. Splitting up the site now. They can isolate a fight, but no, just swinging all the way through. No fear whatsoever. And that consistency that we've seen. Another pistol.
Yeah, another one. 5 out of 5 pistol rounds going the way.
Kritika, ये कैमरा ठीक कर दो ना.
I feel like the way that they're abusing the frenzy is
नहीं नहीं इसको नीचे की तरफ
no frenzy usage in these pistol rounds and the
और इसको
catching the plants completely on
और इधर
Vitaly had no idea that they'd given up their own spawn. And I'm not even worried about this round. I probably shouldn't say that.
Oh, G पहला round जीत गई.
Yeah, what a way to curse it.
But I'm not worried about this round because Global Esports, since Pearl, just feel like they've fixed that issue.
Putting through into it. Spike going to be dropped down to the corner. Late look from Bone Cord. He could do some real damage here. Okay.
I'm worried.
You should be worried, Josh.
I'm worried again.
Yeah, listen.
Got it.
Going to get the entire ire of India on you as well if you keep this one up.
It wasn't my fault.
Head diya be.
Well, kills are offered up. 3 for 3 still in this round now. 3 versus 3, I should say. And now slowing it down a little bit here for Vitality, making sure that they wait it out.
I think Vitality's composition is usually going to have a lot
Gun
of...
मिल गया इसको इधर नीचे से उठा लिया.
In these early rounds, they can't afford all of it, obviously.
अबे वो लोग सब ये चले गए यार. What are the odds पे?
Get much better retakes early in the half compared to late.
Chat.
The question is just whether, you know, Sender lands a headshot or Bone Cold finds a pick. And the Global Esports players are not going to have any idea whether Vitality have pushed deep. Because they're miles away.
They're contented all the way up. It's always awkward, honestly, retaking this C-side when you don't have any control of the inner workings of the map, the connectors, because you really do have to clear everything carefully. You don't know if they could have pushed up. You can see Aaron making sure it's a slow and steady approach here, just trying to link up with the rest of his team from Waterfall.
Time is going to tick, but Vitality, again, have no util, so no post-plan.
मिल गया, come on.
Push them through. One player holding at water there. That's Bone Cold to the back. They want to fight this one, and the Sheriff's in their hands. Anything could happen. Running gun in action, but Aaron, he will win out the fight eventually. Drop down to 17 health, but actually drop down to 17 health, but listen, not as clean as we've seen, at least from Pearl being able to convert those anti-ecos, but it does get converted nevertheless.
भाई मैं देख रहा हूँ सब लोग कुछ खा रहे दबा के.
There was no need to be worried.
Guys, don't flood my DMs. It's fine.
Now this is the most important round. अगर ये bonus round निकाल लिया ना, bro मजा आ जाएगा यार. Come on.
Hold on to. It was Texture and Monye really dominating map 2.
Most attacker-sided map.
The whole time, and he pulls them through in another pistol.
Yeah.
Just like he did to open split.
Let's see what happens here with this next round. So Global Esports not opting to buy into the rifles. It's a much weaker buy. Bonus, keeping it going. A lot of util being used though in that flash. Oh my goodness! Up close, corralled into the corner, slowed all the way down. Twiston making a Vandal look like a phantom. One yet though up close. Oh my! Trigger discipline, just can't quite find a second shot.
Could have been everything, couldn't it?
Yeah, makes it dangerous for them though. Jump peek, SK Rossi taking
Rossi
it.
boy!
Gun is quite good, by the way.
Any damage done here is actually huge. Rossi could give his team a phenomenal advantage in round 4.
So how does he want to play this one? I mean, he hoovered up the rifle in his hands right now with his Phantom, and he should be playing for the kills, like you said, Josh.
Yeah, I think he wants to be playing pretty aggressively. I don't think
save
the rifle here is the right
नहीं save नहीं करना चाहिए ना.
But
तीखा है, गरम है.
Looks like he just
save नहीं करना चाहिए ना. मरना पड़ेगा ना, वरना भाई का L हो जाएगा.
Yeah, maybe.
But उन लोग का भाई तोड़ सकता है.
Easy kills. Multi is 2 away from his ult, so
yeah, there's always
play close to it.
There is always a risk reward.
Yeah, 3 away from Bone Colds and Twistons.
नहीं वो save कर रहा है.
There's a lot of ways to play for ult ops on this map.
हाँ correct.
But still, okay. SK Rossi taking the
सब पे पैसा है अब तो.
Vitality, that means that they're going to be able to get a decent buy.
अबे ये गलत था बे.
I think this breach flash where you just saw Twiston follow up.
यहाँ पे 2 pick मिल जाता ना.
Accounted for by Global Esports. No. So they need to
हाँ
adjust
वहाँ पे odin लगाया. क्या बात है मोनेट.
You can't just allow
वो spawn spot है, ये spam spot है वो दरवाजा ना. Correct.
Texture with an operator in his hands though was such a major win condition on
ये कहाँ पे है?
And here we see it again. Yeah, might be just that. Once more, that is a heavy stack though from Global Esports. Look at that. Essentially leaning 4 of their players over. Obviously the game is still being played as well by or by Bazzi, I should say. And they are once again pushing up off the back of this drone. Now they did this prior though. They did this in the pistol round, so it should be contained.
Don't push.
Look at this Vitality. Oh, they've got all 4 of their players ready for the approach, but it is just an absolute slaughter back and forth.
I don't think they were expecting as many of the global players to be there. Vitality have called an immediate pivot into C. But that's the game plan from Aaron. He wants them to run into the Nano Swarms.
Look at this angle. Operator in his hands, Texture. He's holding for it. The clearance isn't good. Oh my goodness, the spacing just good enough. Still a bit of damage done there through the Warbone Code. Dropped down to 5 health.
Bro, 1 HP, 1 HP.
The damage is being done now in this 2v3. Still, you can't afford to give up too much. Paranoia plays, tries to just spam the angle that he was expecting a player to see from. Left down into that 1v3. Bone Cold would have to really pull out all the stops to be trying to win this one, and it's just not possible. Not with the resources available to him. So, Global Esports, really good options, really good ideas as they're heading into this defense side.
Yeah, I think that round was fantastic. I mean, the triple stack from Global Esports on one side of the map, driving the Vitality players into Nanoswarms and the Operator on the other side. Really good. And also, the small mistakes that we were seeing from Global before, where they would line up and give easy spray downs and not be there supporting each other, a lot of that has gone away, almost all of it. And because of the weird situation that Vitality's economy is in, they're almost baited into force buying again. They've had 2 back-to-back rounds where Global Esports has the advantage in the economy. This is scrap metal
and
the
another
Vitality
clash,
are working with.
That's what's going to be happening here towards the A side of the map. That's done. The fault line is there. And yeah, with a bit of spam through the doors. And with Lotus in your hands, I mean, that thing can seem like paper. Still, the fight needs to be taken. Got to be careful. Don't want to give away too much. And what's going to be offered for them? Well, has to dodge that flash. And as he does, it creates that opening.
It's the same breach flash, ruining Global Esports' control over A, and it's opened up a gap for Twiston.
Oh yeah, and just with the door, that one connector, the prior fight being taken, lurks his way in. This is all but over for Global Esports. I mean, Texture's doing a lot, just very disciplined there as he just tries to slowly pick up onto this angle, even a crouch peek as well. Nade pushing them back. I think if you are Global Esports, just want to be saving the weapons that you got here. Don't want to be giving away the Operator.
Yeah, if they can play exits, that would be beneficial, just to keep damaging Vitality's economy. But this map, you can just exit everywhere.
It's a lot offered for them, but
let's talk
about this round that actually ended up happening as well. A recurring thing that we've seen, like you said, Josh, that breach flash that's not being dealt with when they fight over that A main control. I think Vitality's comp is much better at fighting for that early A main pressure.
They have a lot more utility that they can throw into that area, and also, I feel like whether it's players getting blinded or players having to turn away, that breach flash is ruining them. And it might be something where Texture wants to pre-cloudburst the area. Just to block it off. Yeah, just to block it off, so that when the flash pops, he doesn't have to worry about it. You just saw it there in the replay. It blooms kind of really high in the defender's sightline, but you could cloudburst that if you can predict the timing of it.
It's difficult.
Or alternatively, have somebody play from kind of the A site position so that they're anti-flash, and they can swing, but the angles are awkward.
So we step ourselves now into this round here, round 6. Swing off the Prowler. Oh, that's dealt with. Twiston Felt like there wasn't too much else behind that one. Maybe just a little bit late with the stun that should have been coming, but...
I like this Odin idea from Monye. It is working.
A lot of warbang angles on this map in particular. Saw Cloud getting good usage of it, actually, earlier in the tournament. A couple of Guardian kills, but it's an interesting round because the ultimates are building up on either side. A lot of tools to work with. You might start to see some of them offloaded.
3 players on the B site, and if Bone Cold gets his breach ult in there, those guys will not be able to hold on. It is a tiny choke point though, so risk reward maybe not quite in Vitality's favor. Wow. Lockdown being used here seems strange to me because Aaron's still going to be able to back up and pop his nanoswarms off.
It's quite interesting.
Oh, हाँ.
And he has a counter lockdown, so
counter lockdown
is this all just a fake to hit B with the breach ult or the Nightfall?
Looks like there might be a pivot in play. Yeah, there's a Nightfall. Moves them back. No more audio cues for Monye. And there's a Rolling Thunder. That's used in response. Global Esports pushing them back, but still pushing their way through. Aftershock into the corner. It's going to be causing it to be a little bit more awkward, and time is running so damn low now. The wall's still blocking off these sightlines. Plant's going to go down, and no one really disrupting this up close to the wall. Texture does cover it.
What a shot.
And it has to be heroics. It has to be now. One after the other. The double swing, not spacing themselves out, and it is just crumbling before them. What was an opening, what was an opportunity for Global Esports to at least turn that in their favor? It just crumbles. The same errors we were talking about in map number 1 just rearing their heads there.
Oh, and that's a 4v2. A 4v2 retake, I think, where it all just fell to pieces. Texture did such a good job at hitting the first one on the
Texture ने क्या खेला बे?
But then
bro, come on bे. Iron बाजी मार देते बे
play
उसको.
from Bazi is no bueno.
Yeah, not too good, but
and set Sender up for a 4K, holding on, and Vitality now powered up.
So forcing Global Esports down to that eco. Texture one away from his Blade Storm. It's a heavy stack over towards A. This time, not willing to fight over some of that A main pressure, so they've realized the mistake prior. And they're like, okay, well, we don't really have the util to go pound for pound and try and fight for that control, so we'll give it up.
If they can sniff out the A stack, though, the rest of the map is so weak from Global's defense.
Wide open. You see this positioning being played by Aaron. I mean, he was behind just the bank of sand there, but has to give it up. He does hear that util being used into the front side of B.
Uh-oh. The spike is returning over to A.
Alt use करेगा क्या?
Global Esports haven't moved an inch.
As he's holding his fall line, I think. Maybe off a bit of util, but revealing a couple of these players, fault line, and a nade as well.
Okay, the pivot into B here makes more sense to me, I think.
Yeah, a lot has been showcased so far, I think. Global Esports making it quite obvious that they've stacked this, and now into B. Should be a free plant, yeah, especially with the Cove. It's going to be blocking any potential damage. Obviously, the position isn't even there in the first place, but playing for this retake, I think narrow sight lines, narrow angles as well. Could see that the pistols get a bit of work done. Dart pushes the players back now, and Vitality feeling the pressure. It's definitely on. Shorty right up close and personal, still twisting. Lurks his way around, and no one is dealing with this guy at all. Shorty in play. That's going to be that slam dunk. Looking like it could have got a bit dangerous, but no, Vitality win it out. 4 players remaining alive.
Come on, baby.
And I think at this point in the game, after 7 rounds have been played, Vitality should have a really good read of how Global Esports are playing their defense. And this is where a good attack side caller or a good coach is going to be able to give you a lot of other good ideas for the rest of the rounds. And something that strikes me is that Twiston hasn't been double blast packing into C very much. We saw players do that a lot in some of the previous games on Lotus. I mean, Jing comes to mind, but there were a bunch of other people doing it.
Yeah.
But he has his Raze ult. There's only really been Aaron holding the C site early on. I feel like that's incredibly abusable. And Global Esports have taken a timeout here, but that also allows Salah to talk to Vitality. And I'm concerned because Global's defensive plan doesn't look too bad, but they're putting a lot of resources into fighting A lobby, and they're still losing that. So that weakens the rest of the map whilst not even allowing them to hold A lobby.
Yeah.
It's not like, it's not a bad idea, but they don't have the tools to really execute the plan.
Well, one of the best looks that they have showcased so far, at least, is putting that operator in the hands of Texture. Because Honestly, one of the weaknesses of Vitality's comp, I will say, is that this Harbor, this solo controller, you can't smoke just A main and fake that you're pressuring A main. So an operator is really powerful from long sidelines.
Counterpoint. What if SK Rossi on Sova ops?
I mean, that is, okay. Hello, India, I'm ready for it. Let's go. I mean, sure. Why not?
Very unusual. He's probably going to have to send out a recon dart early for some control and then operate. But, I mean, look at Vitality. I think they're going to go for the play that I talked about. Double blast pack with the Razor.
Guys.
Util being dumped through, so control of A. They know that they're pushing up a lot of the player base. Now you can see a lot of the team of Vitality. Somebody giving the utility through. Now you see it, Reckoning in the showstopper. Great combination. Clears out the side entirely. And this ult is a little bit
really
awkward there from SK Rossi. Yep, dashing away just to avoid that showstopper rocket that was flying right towards their spawn. But
and one of the problems is, I mean, if SK Rossi had ulted as the plant was going down, then maybe they don't get that one off.
Timing. Oh my goodness, the lurk. Oh, it's all just a bit hidden, isn't it? Monyet, will he be able to be aware of this? Not quite. Sender's reflank has just been brutal for them. Backstabbing them. Moving forwards though, Aaron does deal with this one. Now how does this retake happen? A lot of util, aftershock into the corner. SK Rossi moving up, has the operator. Does he suspect the player is close? Time is running low. Texture trying to stick this now. The raw spam, the random spam. Trying to go for the quick scope, half onto the defuse. No one's dealt with Twiston. And he was just that extra layer that they needed.
Good execution from Vitality. Nice post-plant play as well. And Global Esports finding it very difficult to retake with an op in the hands of Rossi and kind of set up really difficult. That post-plant spot that is miles out in the open. And they're able to get that plant down because there was nobody on C. They're leaving C open super early in the rounds. I think you're probably going to see something similar here from Vitality. If they try and go towards A and they meet too much resistance, pivot C, get a plan.
Oh, yeah? Want to fight over this one. Again, the double flashes up into the top corner. This time, no Texture. He does have the Blade Stormer, and yet backing him up. Paranoia now going to be ripping through, and it does land on a couple of the targets. All that util being dumped forwards. They'll be able to win out this fight. Question is, can they fight and claim over this next rifle? Destrian's there, just trying to take the battle to them, making it awkward.
Yeah, they trade a kill but get 2 rifles for it, so it's still good for Global Esports. Double Vandal, 3v3 retake. Vitality are favored for sure, and they've got nice post-plant positions, but it's winnable for Global Esports.
It becomes really hard to try and clear out players who are holding close.
Multi's giving away where he is.
Yeah, it's revealed on a headshot angle though. There's not going to be a re-swing. Dart push back now. Has to be aware that there could be a push, but time, again, starting to run low. These post-plant positions, they got to know that there are a few players there holding it. The timing. Someone needs to start sticking this. Where are the protocols? Where are the layers? A tap onto the spike, but it's just so difficult to try and win out now. And left up to Aaron. Will claim a rifle in the middle of all of this one, but another round tallied up now for Vitality. They're going to be, I think, 6 on the board.
And this is where Global Esports needs to change up the defensive setup. I mean, you can't just do the same thing every time and expect it to work when Vitality have got the read. I think you need to be putting pressure. Maybe you fight Sand this round, or maybe Texture ops towards C this round, or you go for, you know, a stack towards B and play retake A. I don't know. There are different options here, but the point being that they need to shift. Vitality have got the read currently, and so you see it happen actually. And it looks like Texture is going to be set up with the operator on C, but they've still got the Killjoy utility behind that. Might have been better off putting Aaron on B. But this is a new team, and I'm sure Aaron's scrambling to come up with the adjustments early.
Oh my goodness, Bazzi, given the timing, you can't still be taking that fight, though. He does back away with the aftershock, so early kill found. Pretty vital target as well in the form of Twiston, but an instant rotation now by Vitality. They noticed that that early utility wasn't being used towards A main. Chances are they're not playing it, but SK Rossi gets some really good mid-round information, and that drone spots at least 2 of the players.
And there's 3 players ready to defend A.
Yep, swarming back onto the site. Operator, Texture pushing forwards. That's a risky maneuver.
And he missed the shot.
Yeah, mistimes, risky timings, and there was a gap into the smoke. The spam is just not being afforded, is it? No angles to really play for, and the operator's going to be salvaged, picked up, backed away. Global Esports forced to save for another day.
Vitality looking clean. I like the pivots as they move around the map. I think one of the big things that Bone Cold's done well here is make his team quick to react to things. When they realize that there's pressure in one area of the map, they're very fast to immediately group and hit somewhere else. They're not trying to play the clock, they're just trying to play the rotations. And make sure they get easy access to sites. Global Esports had the read though, it just... Vitality overwhelmed them as that
Mama bhai tum center
into their play.
Yeah. Trying to play retake there. I mean, maybe it's different if Texture ends up landing a shot. This could be really dangerous. With a no scope, you can't even save the weapons into it.
No, that's brutal. Yeah. Absolutely brutal. Not only do you lose all of your weaponry, but Vitality didn't have to use their Breach ultimate or their Killjoy ultimate. They still have two enormous tools to win another round. On C, on B, you know, wherever they want to use them, maybe a post plant A. There are just so many options on this map for how you want to work the ults.
Steadily gaining a lead. Obviously, the map has found itself to be quite attack-sided so far at LOCKIN.
Yeah, so
I guess could bode well, I suppose, for Global Esports, but
how many rounds do Global Esports need?
Yeah, I mean...
4 in the pistol?
4 in the pistol, I think, might be the minimum, but we'll see. Still early days, still a new map, a lot of unknowns, but... Half bite, that's what Global Esports has pretty obvious, this pressure. That's a paranoia, but doesn't catch all of it. And the wall has to be dealt with, which resets the aim of Texture. He can't even get a kill out of it. Nano Swarms. Down low into the corner, that nade. Aaron forced out wide into the open. Doesn't pay for it with his life. Could spam the common angle, but no, there's a cove in the way, so even the bullets would be blocked.
चलो अब देखो मैं आगे मारना कहीं पे भी मार गोली लगेगी तो कहीं पे भी मार.
Lotus util, just slowing him down. Lovely siege just to delay this one. Phone call as well. Right at the back. Angles are being locked down, but no, they just wade right into that common angle.
And I think at this point,
switch 4-8 pe.
The defensive ideas are reeking of desperation.
Come back.
Global Esports with an attempt at a sand crunch, but no one was pushing on C.
Bit half-baked.
Very half-baked, yeah. Needed more time in the proof and draw. Sad deflated. But if Global Esports can get this round, their dominance in the pistols might be able to carry them through to still making a map out of this. But it's the same idea again, the same pressure. Let's see if the breach flash from Bone Cold works.
Yeah, already the flash over the top. Texture dashing forwards. There is a dart in play. No one was dealing with this one. And yet again. Okay. Bazzi used his ultimate. Yeah, that was an ult to push them back. I mean, have to use the smoke, I suppose, just to plot the course all the way into B. You can see the players have already taken up all this space. The spike, though, out in the open. Bazzi just needs to
flash karke.
They could be anywhere right now. Nightfall now being used for a fight towards A main. Smoke's going to be fading any minute now. And a fight being taken and won right now. Global Esports. They shut that one down. Have to be aware. Bazzi backing away. Peak timing. Twiston's position known, but now it's all down to Sender. Still, looks like it should be an easy one for Global Esports.
Yeah, I think the spike being down made all the difference. Like, trade offer. We take it. Normally not a good trade, but when the spike is down and there's nowhere to pivot, Global Esports have the advantage. Good double plays, making sure Sender doesn't have a crumb of it. And they're 4-8 at the half. Could this still be winnable for Global?
The potential is there. Like we said earlier, it is a bit more of an attack-sided map from what we've seen so far at the tournament, but probably going to need the pistol round. That's going to be the big question. But before we even get into any of that, the first half is done and dusted. Let's send it down to the desk to break it all down.
Thank you so much, fellas. And it was definitely a great half there for Vitality, especially at the closeout.
Iska kya naam tha?
Undefeated until we got to the half.
Yeah, GE really struggled to shut down on their defensive side, and I think a lot of that came down to their.
Yeah, esports award mein nominate hua tha na.
In I think like quite a few.
JD Animesh Master Agarwal.
We saw this squad going for a lot of these early long fights, but against the composition that has been brought out here for the side of Vitality, it's really difficult to win that. You have the hard wall to cut off the team. You have those breach flashes to re-push in. If you ever lose that fight, you're leaving so many of these gaps that Vitality's mid-round was really good at exploiting.
Yeah, I mean, the mid-round movement that we're seeing here from Vitality has also been fantastic. Just getting a sense of where these players are positioned from the side of GE. You saw that shift. It was a thrifty attempt coming through from GE.
ये तुम्हें shroud लगता है?
A site, and they just get a sense of that. Immediately cut through, get onto B, get that plant down. And it was fantastic for them. Do want to take a closer look, though, at Twisted, who has been impressing. Wasn't sure how he was going to look moving over to the Raze. I actually had to flip back, and I saw that this is his most played Asian, actually, of all time. Very, very good on that first map. Was curious to see if it was going to be him or Molsey picking it up, but so far he's had a pretty strong performance.
Yeah, and on the defensive side, the damage you can have with this race is really good. It's, again, going to be a stronger comp at fighting A long. You can fight early space in B. You can get a lot of value out of that nade. But here is where push comes to shove. GE, they've had a great series thus far. They have debuted, proved that India can compete on the international stage, but they're on the precipice of going home. This is where it matters most. 5 out of 5 on pistol rounds thus far. They need to win it again here. This 6-1 will be the most important.
If they can get the 6th, it would be monstrous. Bren making a mention of how so far in this tournament we've been seeing a lot of success on that attacking side. Let's see if that still remains true here for GE, and the pistol is the way that it all kicks off.
Yeah, they had found that magic in map 2. Now the question is, can they claw this back and pull off something that I don't think Vitality was prepared for in this series? To send it back over to Brennan Sideshow.
Let's get back into it now. Final map of this series between Global Esports and Vitality, culminating.
Mamba bhai, unka aim head pe khulta hai.
And there's that stat again. 5 for 5
in this series so far.
Esports with these pistol rounds.
Ye wala bhi
potentially one of the most important ones.
Aise khecho, kursi khecho. Kursi khecho.
Almost looks like fake pressure towards A, but they are going to follow the flash recon play.
Huh?
At least initially here. Vitality have taken sand, so a bit of a flip in the map.
Yeah, deep position there on the C, and that's pressure being, again, just flooded through now into this B site. Sender, oh, this smoke is just a little bit off in terms of the angle. Tried to take an early fight, doesn't know if they pushed him. Backed away. The plan's going to get off, and this repush. They don't quite claim too many more kills, but Destrian falling is a big one.
This is wonky now, though, because Vitality control every other part of the map. They're going to ambush Global Esports.
The reflank, the plans. There needs to be some plays being made, and guess what? Monyet steps up to the plate.
सब बहुत कम कम HP है सिर्फ टेक्सचर और बजी पे
reflank is everything, but doesn't buy this time, just backs away. One bullet and it does the job.
Oh, flanks on flanks for Global Esports.
The IGL just doing the most right now for them. Last player now, Twiston is finished, and 6 for 6, a flawless on the pistol round. Beautiful stuff, and it sets off Global Esports on the right foot to try and get even in this final map.
Even if Global Esports end up going out of this tournament,
मेरी highlight वो viral हो गई थी ना frenzy वाली वहीं से सीखा है.
Their pistol rounds at a minimum can make matches happen.
Yeah.
भाई क्या मारा है.
Head coach and Aaron, the IGL, have cooked up some
को लगा guys Vitality वाला backstep दे रहा है.
The post-plant flank there was good. The push into spawn was a nice idea too. It's not simple. There are layers. Okay, are they aware that Twiston went for this push before? Because Vitality are doing the same thing again.
Close stun.
देख
Nice! Yeah, stunned up. That was a crossfire.
Good work.
Almost taken off the head of Azzy, but yeah, they show a lot of patience with
दिख गया. पकड़ इसको. बहुत बढ़िया. Good morning, happy birthday.
And that one worked a treat. So good play from Global Esports to clear that out. What is this? The Harbor Circle of Doom.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of angle, I suppose, that the player could be wading in and out of, but
हमने खा लिया.
Paranoia rips across, so
nice.
Seem like
Let's go, Rossi.
For them.
Clean map.
Wow.
Nice and easy. Another flawless. Prime Gaming at that, and keeping all those weapons going.
Now is the most important match.
Round. पूरे hierarchy बता दिया. Match round.
Because they have just hit him with the prime game and flawless.
अगर ये निकाल लिया जी ने, बहुत बड़ा plus है इन लोगों के पास.
Players have to get their confidence up. It's going to be dangerous for Vitality. We saw that momentum build on Pearl, and Vitality could not stop it. Obviously, the halves flipped here. Global now has to do it on the attack side rather than the defense.
This is what they've got to be careful of, though. Vitality, this comp is so good at punishing this, and look at that, the nade was actually landed intentional for any sort of player that might be TPing behind that wall.
Yeah, it was actually a nade as well. There was a crazy lineup from Molsey.
बस Bulldog अगर clutch कर दिया ना,
on the Omen would be TPing
क्योंकि
across, but
Spectres के साथ तो दिक्कत है. Oh, nice.
Lights him up through the wall. And it offers that easy kill, but you do get the
इन लोगों का अटैक है ना, इन लोगों का स्मोकर मर गया.
And I think this breakable wall is such an interesting dynamic on Lotus. Whoever controls this A
हाँ तो वही तो इन लोगों का अटैक है, इन लोगों का स्मोकर मर गया है.
That wall that connects it to B.
निकलेगा मुझे भरोसा है.
Don't have any info about whether they could be going through to B. They're having to hold very
एक जबरदस्त वो पड़ेगा डेज ब्रीच का और टेक्सचर घुस के मार देगा.
Might well be under a bit of pressure.
तुम कहाँ जा रहे हो?
Bounces into the back of the site. It's going to be broken, and there is a wall. Players. An instant pivot now, though, moving their way into B.
Another gorgeous lurk timing,
Remain
maybe.
And Aaron, wow, let's just watch for.
A second too early.
Yeah, the timing just slightly off, and this util, the bone cold is just offering out to them. Is
good.
But again, feels a bit awkward once more. A bit of panic maybe just being injected into this round.
Please,
he could just anchor this fully for them.
ये हमारा bulldog मर गया
right in the back of the making sure that he can't be pushed. And it's down to SK Rossi, but Sender again just that off angle. Perfect crosshair placement.
Damage done though on the bonus, and remember that is the goal for global esports, is to keep Vitality's economy honest, and I think they've done that.
अरे टेक्सचर को बकल अप करना पड़ेगा थोड़ा सा.
Had to rebuy armor, the other two are on light armor.
उसकी बहुत नीड है.
It keeps things suppressed on the Vitality side, but you do have to be putting important rounds on the board, and this is one of them. Can A-Ring get an ult and get some kind of lockdown play going, perhaps?
Yeah, तेरा.
Rossi with an operator, the attacking Sova op. I haven't seen this since Prime Wardell days.
Nice.
And it works out, I suppose. Let's see how we go. Either trying to go for a jump pick or what, we'll have to see that in the replay. But now you're seeing all this pressure onto Bone Cold. No one was watching that angle but the Dart.
Nice.
Reveals his position, and Texter's good for it. Just slightly just moving around there. Sight going to be gained.
Another good plant position. Oh no, Bazzi actually forced to go for a safe plant here.
Yeah, it drops back now, and you're seeing this lockdown being used. Attack side lockdown. Global Esports looking to see if they can get this space, but there's a contact.
Nice!
In! Fight being taken.
Nice! No,
oh my goodness, and the fault line twisting. Oh my word, did he get detained there? Looks likely. Just couldn't quite satchel his way out of there, but there's no punish. Still, the plan goes down. Leaving Twiston alive. A costly error.
But it is a safe plant, which is a bit more difficult to work with. You can see A-Ring's in a spot to swing up Monye.
Into the corner, Prowler as well. Monye needs help. He's going to be TPing away, actually. Just backs. Now, control of water is going to be so important. Sees into the back, double swings there. It's beautiful. And the Seas catches onto two, just lined up. Vitality. Moments like that just getting so dangerous. I said it. Twiston was detained, but they just did not want to try and push it to punish.
Maybe that's going to bite them. But I mean, the Vitality's retake there looking so good. That duo that has just been so
था तो वहाँ वाला प्लांट खेलना चाहिए था जो हम लोग बाहर से हम लोग दिन करते हैं ना.
Duelist duo, if you want to call it that, but obviously mostly playing Fade here. But the way that they're syncing these things up, the C's, the nade, the swing timings, they have got such great synergy between them.
Magnificent.
निकालोगे, हो सकता है, कर सकते हो. मैं होता ना.
It's a really rough position now for them.
Terrible.
मैं होता मारता उसको मैं.
And SK Rossi picking up a hero rifle.
So it has to be the playmaker. Vitality though pushing forwards. It's a heavy take towards the front side of B, and any attempt of a punish is just offset immediately, losing two players.
दिखा दे यार Rossi bro, दिखा दे.
Global Esports moving forwards, and still the rifle in the hands of Rossi needs to be the playmaker. But a difficult sight for them to take. Fault line.
दिखा दे Rossi. चल plant का पैसा मिलेगा.
Is there, but the wall blocking them off.
Rossi पे gun है.
Past this. Playing forwards.
Nice.
Rossi wins the first duel for them.
दिखा दे मेरी जान दिखा दे.
First step of the miracle plan. Tries to take the second with a wider swing. Dealt with. Flash timing. Ever so.
Nice. अरे यार.
Bazzi. Just a classic. There's only so much he can really do.
6-11 हो गया ना bro.
I love that play with the Harbor Cascade. Destrian using the Cascade and the push out of B is so good there. It blocks off the long sight line where you might be able to get punished by somebody in spawn. And it also, if someone tries to swing through it, they're slow. So it's really difficult to help this player that gets stuck on the right. And Texter tries to help, but he's just so labored and slow. It's like going through molasses.
Yeah.
Global Esports are going to take a timeout here as they ponder what to do. Now, SK Rossi's hero rifle hasn't hurt their economy too much here. Texture still has the Blade Storm available. So
Vitality, one of the best teams है international. जी नया form हुआ है, फिर भी इतना अच्छा अगर खेल पा रहा है ना.
So this is the round that everything hangs on. And it's brutal.
Time out liya kya?
Even if Global get to a plant, all of the retake ultimates are available for Vitality. I don't know how you cook up a
मेरे को map picks नहीं पता. किसका क्या map pick था?
Seems so difficult. 6-11 being that scoreline. Vitality on the cusp. Being able to take away the series, take away the map. No room for error for Global Esports. And that's what this timeout is aiming to achieve, seeing if they can cook up a plan.
I think it has to be around Texture. If Texture is going to be using his knives, you want to put him in a spot to capitalize on that early on. And so either you want to be dashing him on top of the
थोड़ा सा मेरे को ना nervousness हो रही है. अरे मतलब 1-all हो गया ना तो अब मतलब एक match अवे है तो वो हो रहा है कि अवे जीत
जाएंगे. I think those are the two best options for getting value out of your Jet.
There's no way.
But I mean, you look at the positioning on the mini-map, and this looks almost exploratory towards B early on. Maybe they're planning to use a Cloudburst and connect with their C players?
But again, SK Rossi has been afforded this operator.
Chal Rossi,
it's strange, isn't it?
So much faith being placed into his hands.
But it's not just faith. It means that he's going to be disconnected from his team and can't use the recon or the dart to set up Twiston. They're splitting their win conditions, and it might be a compromise that hurts them.
Moving forward, slow and steady.
ये race pick चाहिए.
Rolling thunder. They want to punish this one, and SK Rossi the nade into the corner. Can't move anywhere. Still alive for now. Where's going to be dealt with? And he is finally the spray down.
A Vitality grab hold of the tempo, never allowing Global Esports a moment to imprint their pace on the map.
कैसे बैठे हैं यार
response here from Global Esports, and you're seeing it live in the flesh now as the players walk forward.
मिला.
Critical kill for him. Late lurking into mid, finds his mark.
He's been good on them, hasn't he?
Yep.
These lurks have always found value from
plant वाला
Aaron. It's a better plant position now.
What is the play here? One yet?
नहीं
so close to the smoke, he's pushing forwards into it, and it's a run and gun. They're just trying to fight them deep into the play. A dash forwards to try and disengage here. Yuto being held, a bit of run and gun, and somehow Aaron wins that one. It is so damn awkward, but it's down to that 2v2. Wall blocks the sight line, Cove as well. It needs to be spammed for. The Blazestorm just not catching it, and Texture forced to spam, forced to try and find the fight, but he can't do it. Stuck all the way through, and Vitality find themselves now on series point.
So many opportunities for Vitality.
There is no GGWP. It's
Any
not over until it's over.
Esports, and they are gone. The buy doesn't look its best, but they're still going to have rifles. One last desperate run for Global Esports. But Vitality look like they've done the important work already.
Yeah, I mean, this is them in the driving seat and more. 3 big ultimates to their name. The util combos this time. Lay it into A main, doesn't grab any kills. Dash forwards. Manel actually sticking this ultimate as well. He's deep into the back line. Position's known though. Multi's going to be backing away. And he does dodge that paranoia, but creating an awkward timing right now. What does Multi want to do, holding the edge of this smoke? Meanwhile, Global Esports not wasting any time with this kind of pressure. That's going to be the aftershock, pushing them back out of the way. Fight needs to be taken right up close and personal. It is traded though, but still Vitality going. And it's all down to Texture. A 1v2 to keep his team in it. Just to try and survive. Texture up in the side, dashing forwards, dodging that showstopper. He knows where the positioning is. Spike in his hands, a tap of the plan, needs to force the fight, but a double-up position is there. Vitality safe, hands for them. 13-6 of the scoreline. They have sent Global Esports home.
Global Esports definitely made them work for it, but it is a win on the board for Vitality. I think both teams demonstrated some really cool stuff in this series. Vitality's split looked really well thought out, a lot of good game plans coming from Bone Cold. We saw set plays on Lotus from Vitality. The breach ult to isolate SK Rossi in those final couple of rounds was really good. And Twiston, Mulsi, Sender, the individual talent is there. But also, when you look at Global Esports, there were so many doubters who just thought this team was a ragtag bunch of people thrown together at the last minute that didn't have a hope. And I think that they've proved people wrong, despite the loss. Taking a map in the manner they did, and showcasing that they still had what it took to push. I think this was a decent opener for Global Esports, and something that they will definitely be building on as the year goes on.
That's always been the goal for a team like Global Esports, is long-term focus, high risk, high reward project with them picking up so many duelist players, but I think you can see glimpses of success here. But ultimately today, it is Vitality who are on top. Vitality who reign supreme, and this is a dark horse team heading into this tournament. I think they showed glimpses of really well thought out stuff, moments of sheer brilliance as well from some of their star players, Twiston and Multi in particular.
Yeah,
really
Chalo guys, pretty much it.
Yeah, remember those names. Twiston said earlier that they don't have any big names, any big stars on the team. But that's just a matter of time.
It's 1 o'clock. We are in
talent. It's got skill.
Bandra. We are going to leave now.
There in the middle, Bone Cold. How far will his journey go this year? He's already been up to the top of the mountain, and now he's back, pushing that boulder once again. But
they still, I mean, it's okay. 2-1 race.
That this was still a close game.
Still, I would say that 2-1 karna bhi, it was a like very 2-1 करना बहुत बड़ी बात थी. And यार मेरे को ऐसा फील हुआ कि थोड़ा सा they would have आज कर लेते रे, पता नहीं. There was few moments जहाँ पे वो 2v3 and all situations हो गए, जैसे ये वाला अभी देखा जो आपने. ये सारे moments में मेरे हिसाब से निकाल लेते बहुत अच्छे से. जीत सकते थे, but like considering the way they played second game, possible था. But it's all right. हाँ? क्योंकि बार्सिलोना हार गई मेसी की. हाँ हाँ, ये वैलोरेंट नहीं है, फुटबॉल है जोकर भाई. अरे क्या करते हो यार, क्या आपको पता है? छोटे में फुटबॉल भी लिखा है उधर. गुड न्यूज तो नहीं पता, बैड न्यूज तो है. गाइस, जोकर भाई का फोन गुम चुका है. क्या? किससे? तो मेरे को करने क्या बोल रहे हैं?
अरे बात करो, तुम बड़े हो ना.
ओ अच्छा, ढूंढवाने के लिए. हाँ पता है. कैमरा नहीं है इधर. कैमरा नहीं है. जोकर भाई का फोन गुम गया है गाइस. एनीवेज, चलता हूँ मैं, आ रहा हूँ, चलता हूँ मैं. ठीक है, निकलता हूँ. ठीक है, मजा आया, कोई बात नहीं. बॉयज विल कम बैक स्ट्रॉन्गर डेफिनेटली. ठीक है, चलो बाय गाइस.